Hello, everybody, and welcome to the new episode of Pop Talks. It's a long time coming. It's been about a month. More like 2 months. I'm Andy, in case you forgot. I'm sitting here with my co-host.
I'm Jason, and Andy, who is our lucky guest for this episode?
Oh, it is the man himself.
Aw, shucks.
Ben Jenkins. Woo!
The crowd goes wild.
Yes.
You guys are too kind. Thank you for having me back. The pleasure is all mine.
Yeah. Your
We'll make
last
sure of that.
appearance almost killed the show. Because it's been about 2 months.
I know, right?
But there's no better way to rebound
Yes,
than having the man himself, Ben Jenkins.
Or to kill it again.
Oh, yeah. It might be another 3 months before we get another episode of this.
YouTube might just completely shut you off entirely, like cancel your channel.
You'll kill it so hard that it'll become undead and thus unkillable.
Ooh, I like that.
What is dead may never die.
But rises again, harder and stronger. That's really way more sexual than
It's more sexual than you would think, especially since it's dripping wet when they come up from the water after being drowned.
And that reminds me, I wanted to make a joke about Andy starting off by saying "long time coming."
Oh, yeah. Can't just let that one lie.
Can't just let that lie blasted. No.
Ow.
Ow, damn it.
Well, hell, I just thought it was that kind of podcast.
Completely unscripted, folks.
Yeah. Can you tell?
No formal training.
The Unkillable was a good segue for what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
Which is, if you've noticed the theme with our episodes with Ben, we've been talking about the galaxy far, far away. And that's what we're going to continue to talk about today. Because we're talking the future of Star Wars. The good, the mostly terrible, the maybe mediocre. Everything that's coming out in the Star Wars universe, we're going to run down and talk about how we're going to complain about it later.
Disney really needs a new hope.
Well, once they acquire Fox, they get all the distribution rights, but,
Unless Comcast torpedoes that deal.
Uh-oh.
They probably don't have the money for at this point.
They're just going to run up the price to make Disney pay for it.
Which is fine. Disney deserves to have to pay that much
Yeah,
money out.
right?
Yeah.
Then they'll have about as much money as like a second world country.
So like Estonia, Latvia, the Scandinavian countries.
But not as nice.
Yes, that's true. The streets are not as clean. The murder rate's higher.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Which I feel like is true of Disneyland.
Yeah. You'll actually be able to find the occasional used condom at Disneyland, whereas these days, those get swooped on right away because they're there. Trust me, folks, they're there.
At Disneyland? Or in Estonia?
Yeah. Estonia. Well.
Yeah, no,
maybe.
I am certain that there is multiple orgasms had at Disneyland every day.
Oh yeah.
Multiple orgasms.
Yeah.
Sometimes even shared by people, not just solo ones.
Yeah, whether that's
Solo
orgasm.
Hey!
Oh.
Bringing it back.
Oh, I don't think anybody's having an orgasm
Maybe
during solo.
Maybe some formal training on Jason's part because that segue was too good.
I'm self-taught.
Autodidact.
Even the most hardcore Star Wars fan only had a light chub during that movie.
Jesus.
My wife loved it.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Well, Donald Glover's a genius, so
I loved
I mean that couldn't have hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
It's
There were some strong performances in this film. Like Alden Ehrenreich did a really good job as Solo.
He was my favorite part.
He ended up being my favorite part too because everyone had really low expectations for him, which is really sad.
But that always works out, you know.
It does. You always go in with low expectations, and you will never be disappointed.
The lowest you can manage, and at the very least, you'll probably meet those really low expectations. Just expect to hate every movie you go to see, and then the internet will be just so quiet because no one will have anything to complain about.
That's true.
I went in with realistic expectations, and it was all right.
Moderately serviceable.
Yeah, imagine that. Wait, what am I doing?
Yeah.
This isn't good for.
You're not
podcasts.
a Star Wars fan. Get out of here.
Go.
Crucify him! It's just like they have two giant lightsabers that they stick one into the ground, they run one across to make a giant cross, and they just nail me to it.
Oh, that's fantastic. or just like two Darth Maul lightsabers.
Oh, nice.
The two double hilters. Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
Yes, or maybe just one. Yeah. So
No, the Kylo Ren one.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It's built in.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Yeah, there you go.
Except
But wouldn't it just kind of sink into the ground? Because you have to go blade down.
the hilt is really tiny, so your arms will be like next to your neck.
Blade first.
It'll be
really tiny.
It'll look like I'm putting my hands behind my head.
Yeah, like you're really relaxing during this
Like I'm right in the
crucifixion.
middle.
This is the most relaxing murder of all time. Most relaxing Roman court-ordered murder of all time.
Like in the middle of the Macarena.
So when you ask for water and they give you vinegar, do you ask for blue milk and then they give you the green tit milk from Last Jedi instead?
Oh, It's actually Dagobah swamp water,
Oh no, that's even worse. 'Cause
which
Yoda-
is mostly just Yoda's sewage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yoda's been
sewage with some
shitting.
like hemp mixed in there, and
Ooh,
I
that might not be so bad.
no, yeah, that
Might
would
ease my passing.
certainly.
It'll probably get you so high that you won't even know what's going on. Just all the methane coming out from it will just fucking put you into such a delirious state that you might actually be excited for the future of Star Wars.
You get so high. You know, Last Jedi really was the best movie since Empire Strikes Back.
What?
There are people saying that. There are critics saying that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually
there's-
no, I remember. Yeah, I remember seeing that
There's a bunch of critics
before it came out.
with a nice chunk of change
Yeah,
in their
right.
wallet
I
that are
wanna-
saying that.
I want to believe that Disney did not actually buy off
I don't-
like a
no,
bunch of
they
a bunch
didn't.
of people.
They didn't buy them off as in giving them a check. They bought off these people by giving them early screenings. I got to wear a lanyard. I was special.
Yeah.
They gave us a swag bag.
I
It
have
was
a
mirror.
Kylo Ren pin
Yeah.
to put on my
Yeah.
Disney pin.
I got to
thing
shake
now.
hands with Adam Driver. I'm important.
I was on a red carpet accompanied by stormtroopers.
Yeah,
Mark Hamill winked at me.
John
And he
Boyega.
sneezed, so I'm not sure if it was a real wink or.
John Boyega nodded at me. He knows I'm alive.
I made eye contact with Daisy Ridley. That would give a big chub.
Oh yeah, more than half.
Oh yeah, full effort.
But she's a Mary Sue. She's
Oh.
ruining Star Wars.
I liked her well enough.
No.
in Force
She's fine.
Awakens,
She's
right.
fine.
Mm.
Have you seen the video of the guy that buys a Rey action figure just to destroy it?
That's
He's like, Daisy Ridley, I hate you, and you're destroying my childhood. And he's like, tries to break it. He's like,
He can't because he's a fucking man-child.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Jesus
fucking
God,
great.
that's adorable.
I love it.
That's great. Send me the link to that. You know what? Put the link in the comments. We'll
Yeah,
give this
yeah.
guy some clicks.
Yeah,
right?
whoever links that in the comments first gets nothing but our acknowledgement.
No, they get a no prize.
Yeah, they get the no
Yeah,
prize.
they get the
You
no
gotta give them
prize.
we're in a comic book store.
Yeah,
we gotta
you-
give them a no prize.
You gotta use the terminology, Andy.
Yeah, you'll get a no
Get in
prize.
spirit.
Rip Stanley. Because there's, let's be real, there's like a 50% chance he'll be dead by the time this podcast comes out. Because his life is absolute dog shit at
I'm
this point.
pretty sure, like, mathematically, he's at least 50% dead already.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's half of his brain is gone.
Yeah, I
Half
mean,
of his bodily functions are probably regulated by pills.
I don't know where people stand on where you draw the line between live and dead, but just a heartbeat, not necessarily what we would call quote-unquote alive.
Unless he's got like Darth Vader equipment keeping him alive.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He's probably Dick Clarking it, where he's like,
Yeah,
30% cybernetic parts now.
He could afford it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he could afford it before
Yeah.
his manager started like ass raping him.
Everybody is ass raping him. That's the
That's
saddest
just his
part.
daughter. That's
I mean,
the
well,
worst part.
ass raping his bank account. Let's
Right.
put it in appropriate terms.
I think he would actually be dead by now if that really happened.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, probably.
I don't think he could. Yeah, it's a man of his age, probably not.
So yeah, so now he's comic book dead, which is like
Yeah.
dead, but everybody knows he's not really dead.
Okay,
He'll be back any minute now.
so are
He's Aunt May. He's the Aunt May of the actual real
Oh,
world.
just like perpetually on the edge of death.
Yeah, and not actually gonna completely die.
I can't believe we're gonna put this on YouTube to actually have people listen to this. This is fucking. I love Stanley.
I love Stanley too. I think he's overrated as far as like his impact on American comics goes, but I would not wish the suffering on this man that he's had to endure the last however many.
Yeah, no.
Seconded. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I love
more or less
Stanley.
where I'm
No
at.
one deserves that.
Yeah, his fame and the things he's appreciated for are definitely overinflated. But yeah, I don't think I'd wish that kind of abuse on any human being. It's fucked up.
No.
I'm trying to think. Maybe like who's a reprehensible mass murderer who's still out there? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Let's go on. Let's not.
A Kardashian.
Mass murder of like
Oh, an actual
American
murderer.
culture.
Caitlyn Jenner. She ran over all those people.
Did she,
Really?
I thought she just killed one person.
Oh, still one person.
Still one person. Well, by that logic, we have to crucify Matthew Broderick too.
Yes. we do. Matthew Broderick. You wouldn't wish
There
this
we go.
suffering on Matthew
I wouldn't
Broderick.
even wish that on Matthew Broderick. Yeah.
Yeah. This is for Inspector Gadget, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's the most obscure reference.
That is not an obscure reference.
I
if you're
mean,
fucking
not
4
in this
years
building,
old
it's
and
not.
Not in this. That's fair.
not when you actually had the McDonald's toys of Inspector Gadget.
Oh,
as
the
a
ones
kid.
that you had to assemble all
Yes.
different parts?
And it was
Did
terrifying.
you get the whole thing?
Yes.
Me too.
It was
I
terrifying.
still have it.
Because he has the big gun on the water squirt
Yeah, he's
gun
got the
and-
extendo arm, but yeah, the extendo arm is the grabber one, and the other one has a fat,
Wait,
yeah.
The
super soaker squirter
The
on it.
extended. Oh, okay, so the extendable one's not the one that shoots liquid out.
No, right.
No,
yeah.
okay. Good
That-
call, McDonald's. Good
Yeah,
call.
right. So do we just put them together, or no? We have to have one for each thing.
Otherwise, it's too erotic. No Matthew Broderick action figure should be this erotic.
Oh, that reminds me.
Maybe the French Stewart one when they make the sequel.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Inspector Gadget too, with a
French
lady
Stewart.
Inspector Gadget.
Ooh.
No, they had French Stewart in the
No,
second
I know,
one.
but there was a lady.
Oh,
Inspector
there was a lady?
Gadget. She was
Oh,
his
okay.
partner.
Oh.
French Stewart is the king of like belated sequels to kids movies that nobody asked for.
Is
Because
he?
he
Was he in Cat in the Hat too?
no, but he
Was there a cat in that too?
I don't think so.
Oh, thank God.
no, not on any websites that aren't on the deep web.
Yeah.
No, but French Stewart was also in Home Alone 4.
Yes.
And he took over for Daniel Stern.
Yes, that's right.
He was technically the same character. And
Oh,
Missy
no.
Pyle was his girlfriend.
And this was
Nice.
the like
Wow,
direct
Missy Pyle was in that
TV.
too?
Yeah.
Ah,
And then
I don't know why I want to like her, but I do.
who the fuck? Oh my God, the guy who played the butler. I've seen him in something.
Tim Curry.
No.
Just kidding.
That's Home Alone 2. That's actually a watchable Home Alone movie.
Anything with Tim Curry is watchable.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even Clue. He makes even Clue watchable. Not a classic, but watchable.
Yeah. I don't know.
Even the Rocky Horror Picture Show remake that was on Fox.
Oh,
He was in it.
we can't really call that a remake. That was just one of their live presentations they did after they had such moderate success with Grease.
I guess it technically is the closest you're gonna get to a remake, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
probably.
don't say that too loud. Hollywood is listening.
Oh God, no! They're gonna get Bill Skarsgård to be Dr. Frankenfurter.
Well, yeah, we'll have to see how the Freddie Mercury movie does, and then probably based on the success of that one, then we'll see what other studios greenlight their like musical remakes.
Or they could. How long before we get the fucking Kurt Cobain biopic? Before we get
What, like Woody Harrelson as Kurt Cobain or something?
No, it'd be some up and coming actor in there, and then they would
What's
put
the name of the young Eastwood?
Scott Eastwood.
Yeah, maybe him.
No.
Maybe a lesser Hemsworth.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Luke.
Miley Cyrus dating Hemsworth. Oh no, that's Liam.
Oh, Liam. Okay, yeah.
I feel like none of us should know this.
So maybe Dwayne Hemsworth.
Dwayne Johnson will be his like agent.
And he has the same
Like-
surgery that Robert Downey Jr.'s character did in Tropic Thunder to make himself look
to
blacker.
black
yeah.
himself.
Blacker,
Yeah.
yeah.
Permanent blackface.
Mm.
Should we get to Star Wars,
Yeah, sure.
or do you want to keep riffing on Robert Downey Jr.'s
I mean-
blackface?
Yeah, Last Jedi's killed a lot of my excitement for Star Wars.
Hey-o.
No.
Oh.
Hey.
Well, let's see if you're excited for the next Star Wars thing that's coming up. Star Wars Resistance.
Anyways, moving on.
Yeah. It's the next Disney XD cartoon,
Okay.
and it's supposed to be. It takes place after Return of the Jedi, before Force Awakens, or around the Force Awakens time,
Okay.
and it's going to be anime inspired.
Oh.
Oh,
Are we talking 2D or 3D animation here?
I don't know. They haven't released anything.
Okay.
Before we write it off completely, isn't Dave Filoni
Mhm.
involved with this?
Yes,
Okay,
he is.
so there's some glimmer of hope that this won't suck entirely.
Okay.
Dave Filoni, for those folks who aren't super like up on Star Wars cartoons, gave us Clone Wars and Rebels, so he's
Okay.
pretty
Uh-huh.
well respected in Star Wars circles. And with all this talk of like, oh, is Disney trying to oust Kathleen Kennedy going around? Everyone is saying like, oh, Dave Filoni should be like her replacement.
Yeah.
Are those like people that similarly might have said that like, oh, well, DC just needs to hire Bruce Timm to do all their movies because he had such success
Yeah.
with animated stuff.
Yeah,
That's again a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Not to say anything bad about Bruce Timm. He's
I love Bruce.
yeah,
Timm.
he's wonderful. He's done an incredible job with most everything he's had his hand in. But I don't necessarily. I just imagine that he's really good at that. But animation's probably a different animal than a live action feature film that grown-ups are gonna see.
That's like the people that say like, oh, they should get the people that do the CW shows to do the
Yeah.
DC movies.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
That's not.
I mean, if you want the same quality
As
of
the
that in a
CW
movie, then yeah, they should. You're right. Are
Yeah.
you gonna pay to see that? Because I'm not.
yeah, rom-com Superman brought to you by DC people.
Just let's see. Who would they cast in that? Lisa Kudrow as Lois Lane.
Oh my god,
And-
my colon just clenched so hard.
And hey, let's go with Jason Bateman as Clark Kent / Superman.
oh no.
15 years ago, there's a chance that this actually would have been made.
The new adventures of Lois and Clark.
Oh no. But Terry Hatcher still has a cameo in it.
Oh yeah, she'll be Perry White, but they spell Perry with an I.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
his daughter or something like that.
Yeah. Oh God. Why are we not in a writer's room? Why are we in the back of a comic book store?
This is like, this is not too far off from like the CW writers' room of like 20 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before it was even called CW.
Yeah, so we should be doing this podcast next to a giant whiteboard where we write down all these golden ideas and then we pitch them to executives.
We should be doing it in the Warner Brothers water tower. This is what we should
But
be
that's where the Animaniacs live. That space is already taken.
That's where the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister live.
Warner sister.
Ugh. But Star Wars Resistance.
But Star Wars Resistance, yeah. That it could.
I have next to no. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No,
I have
no,
next to
you're
no interest in this.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I really don't care.
Yeah, two of my friends who habitually get in debates over anime have a saying that they like to use to close out any debate that they have, which is anime was a mistake.
What?
And that is accurate. It's definitely a mistake for Star Wars. It's not
Yeah.
artistically. It doesn't seem compatible to me with what Star Wars is. So I don't.
Anchorman reference. I get it now.
Yeah. This is like the third time we've brought that up tonight.
Yeah,
before this, we dropped Anchorman references before before the podcast started.
So good. So it's called Resistance. Have they given any like details of what the story is going to be at all? Like
No.
any premise information? Because like, what are they?
Well,
right after
they're using an image of BB-8 to promote it, like an anime-styled BB-8. So it'll be like that time period.
Okay.
I think didn't they confirm that at least for the pilot, Oscar Isaac
yeah, he will be Poe Dameron.
and Gwendolyn Christie's as Phasma, because
Possibly.
who doesn't want to see more of that character?
Well, yeah.
Let's
I
see.
mean, I probably would. I guess.
I mean, you haven't seen Last Jedi.
was she in Last Jedi?
Yeah, she is in Last Jedi.
Okay. Well,
And she's kind of a never mind.
that's all right.
But yeah,
It's probably not spoilery for anybody listening.
Yes, Gwendolyn Christie is coming back for Resistance.
But what are they resisting? Because
The First Order. This is in the sequel trilogy. Instead of Rebels, it's Resistance. Instead of Empire, it's First Order.
Okay.
It's the same shit.
it's
Okay.
the details they have released make it sound like it's gonna be like right before Force Awakens.
Yeah.
In terms of its time, time frame placement.
Okay.
Premise right here. The series starting out few years. They couldn't even. It's the fucking Wikipedia. It's not even grammatically.
There are no articles in this article.
The series, starting out a few years before the events of The Force Awakens, follows Kazuda Zayano. Sounds like a Star Wars enough name.
It sounds like an anime-inspired, like, we're trying really hard to cram Japanese-esque sounding names into Star Wars.
Yeah, it sounds like something that your doctor would tell you is in your colon.
Oh, no.
You need to have removed.
A pilot who is recruited into the Resistance to spy on the growing threat of the First Order. This, to me, sounds purely like some fucking tie-in novel that would just sit on the shelves
That's
at
exactly
Barnes
what
and
it sounds
Noble,
like. It
and
does sound
nobody
like a novel.
would. And you would go to Target and it would have like the 45% off sticker on it. You know what I mean? Like,
Please, please, please take this.
yeah, it's
Shoplifting encouraged.
And, like, a picture of Poe's face on the front. Well, on, like, the left half, it's Poe, and the right side, it's, like, Phasma, and, like,
yeah.
flying up the middle of them is, like, an X-Wing starfighter.
Yeah, with BB-8 in it.
yeah. And then they would pump out millions of copies, and there would just be copy upon copy upon copy at your local Target.
Yeah.
And Walmart would have the reversible cover for some reason.
Reversible cover? What is that?
They did that for the last Star Wars.
Is that like a dust jacket that you
Yeah,
can pull
yeah.
off and fold inside out, and it's got a different cover?
They did that for the newest one that came out,
Is it
Last
3D
Shot.
lenticular or foil embossed, or does it have a hologram on it?
No, that's the Costco exclusive.
Well, then I don't need it.
Video game DLC and pre-order bonuses now affect the book industry.
Well, yeah.
It was only a matter of time. Because I have to stay relevant somehow.
Right, exactly. How do we get these kids to want to read these books?
Why don't we put them on an iPhone?
Yeah, let's put them on their little smart devices.
Kill me.
Huh,
Well,
okay. Well, it doesn't sound promising at all.
It sounds...
It's also super early. Like, it's not
Right,
supposed to come
yeah.
out, like, what, next year-ish?
No, it comes out later this year.
Resistance?
Mhm.
Well, Star Wars is doomed. Star Wars Resistance is doomed.
We're doomed.
But
Sure
And
nobody's-
that really does put the punctuation mark on Resistance.
Yeah,
but
yeesh. If it's coming, how do they not have anything for us to get us hyped up if it's coming out this year? Do they realize that there's only like the other half of this year left?
they have this image to get you hyped up.
Yeah.
Aren't you hyped?
Oh, cute little BB-8. I
Aw.
don't want to hate it.
Is
Let me
that
see the
Is
Starfighter
that the
again.
plane from Tailspin?
Shit, I can see that.
Yeah,
What do you call that?
I don't...
Seabird? Seagull?
The seabird, the C word.
The C word.
That's an Arrested Development joke, fans. That's spelled Seaward, just to make sure that we're not offending anybody.
I'll leave when I'm good and ready.
No, but the anime thing doesn't sound great, but it also, I like the idea that they're trying new art styles, because I'm kind of over that whole Rebels animation style of,
Oh, yeah.
there's not a lot to it.
Like DreamWorks.
I do have to appreciate the fact that at least it's hand-drawn, which is a lost art.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Well, and also, I mean, if it's anime inspired, that means it's probably not going to be it's not going to look like Dragon Ball Z or Yu-Gi-Oh! It's probably going to look more like
Teen Titans.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh, maybe,
Or
yeah.
Old school Teen Titans.
Yeah, it might look more like Legend of Korra or some of the Avatar stuff, but yeah, maybe Teen. I mean, that's probably
The Batman.
Yeah, sure, yeah, exactly. I think probably when people hear anime, they probably just think of the really exaggerated Sailor Moon stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's anime inspired, then it's probably just going to be much more toned down and
Pacific Rim was anime inspired.
Sure, yeah.
This could be good. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to write it off entirely. Filoni has a history with Star Wars. He knows what he's doing. But it also, I mean, there's just not enough detail about it to get excited at this point.
Right.
And there should be when it's coming out later this year.
Yeah, if they're this close to releasing it, it seems like they would have something to bait us at least, so that we can be switched on later.
Yeah, they're making the same mistake they did with Solo, which is zero advertising.
Yeah.
They expect this name to sell it alone, and most
Right,
people
yeah.
are getting a little sick of seeing that name everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what killed Solo. Oh, really? Another Star Wars movie
Mhm.
already? Okay.
The next thing after that's coming out is the Jon Favreau live action show on the Disney streaming service, which I am actually really looking forward to.
Okay.
That could be something.
Jon Favreau, Star Wars, absolutely,
Yeah.
definitely on board. Disney streaming service, you're gonna make me the mouse is gonna bend me over and make me pay for yet another streaming device. It just there's something irksome about that to me. Which I get.
True.
Where else would they put it? They're making their own streaming service,
Yeah.
and they want to launch it with something big. Of course, they're gonna use Star Wars. Of course, they're gonna do it with Jon Favreau, with a known storyteller, known quantity to Disney.
Yeah.
But still, using that, I mean, just putting it up behind that price point barrier is obnoxious to me.
Yeah. It depends on how much it costs, really. But at the same time, the fact that you have to get a new streaming service is kind of irksome. But
It's like the reverse cable process, where cable brings together all these channels that
Yeah.
you're paying for, you're bundling, and now you're going to go back to paying for each individual channel.
Right. Well, and it's. I mean, if I had to guess, I don't really know anything about it, but if I had to guess, that's what's going to happen next. It's everybody's going to have their own streaming service, and then you're going to pay to have a package of them, and it's going to just completely, overturn everything that Netflix and Hulu did when they started doing streaming services. Is basically, it's get all your streaming in the same place. It's isn't this exactly what I was trying to do by getting these services in the first place?
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's going to potentially kill Netflix, which I'm sure Disney wants to do anyway.
Right.
But it's also giving Bernie Sanders a conniption fit right now, because he's capitalism, hyper competition. This is what happens when you have too much.
oh, I thought he was just a really big Star Wars fan, and he's like, I'm not paying $4.99 a month to watch Jon Favreau's Star Wars
I don't
show.
care how gifted a storyteller Mr. Favreau is. He has thrown himself in with the evil Disney Empire, and I cannot abide this.
We need to break up the big Lucasfilm. Break it. It's like the Larry David. Break it into little pieces, and then flush it down the toilet so that you can't put the pieces back together.
You guys can't see this hearing the podcast, but Andy's doing very convincing Bernie-esque gestures right now with his hands. He's got the finger going. He's got both hands wildly gesticulating.
So who's the Hillary Clinton to him then? Is it Bob Iger? It's just
Is it not Kathleen Kennedy?
no, because she's not in charge of all of Disney.
Oh,
No, Bob Iger is Palpatine because he's supremely capable.
Okay. Once more, the mouse will rule the galaxy.
Yeah.
The entertainment industry.
That's what happens when you line up 3 Death Stars properly. You just have.
When you
Mouse
wish upon a Death Star. Let's edit that out later.
No, I'm not editing.
Yeah.
That's the motto of my show.
That's the beautiful thing.
We must self-edit if we are to edit at all.
Unscripted, unedited.
Self-censorship is the only editing that I believe in. The only censorship I believe in.
For those of you that
Sometimes
didn't hear that, the door bell to the store just went off.
the door chime.
Yeah, and we're all gonna die.
We're about to get murdered straight up, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get murdered talking about Star Wars Resistance. Dude, is that Kathleen Kennedy right now?
The spirit of Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
You can't criticize any of these.
She's got Forces female t-shirts for all of us.
Obey.
No,
Consume.
She got Star Wars Resistance lanyards for us. Yeah, you can put your keys on it, or I don't know those baby binkies I see you kids sucking on at your raves.
What? What?
I was gonna go into a full they live thing there. But
Oh, okay.
You took it in a whole nother direction.
Yeah. But as far as Favreau goes, yeah, that could be something, but it's still like we don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Other than it's going to be set between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens,
Which actually lessens my hype for it, because I'm really not interested. Like the closer it gets to the sequel trilogy timeline, like the less interested I kind of am.
Knowing where it goes does sort of take away some of the appeal. But also, this is there is theoretically a whole galaxy to play around with. Jon Favreau could go whatever direction he would like.
Yeah.
So,
well, we're getting the. Well, I'll get to it later, but I don't think he's doing any Old Republic stuff. Like, I don't think he was ever into that. Like, I don't think that's his.
I don't know who is, aside from like hardcore, like dyed-in-the-wool EU, old school EU fans. Like, who really wants to see that? Is there a clamor for that?
There is.
Yeah, but from not like your average Joe. Only for people who've like, I played KOTOR back in the day, or I read, Golden Age of the Sith, or those other '90s Dark Horse comics that like did Old Republic stuff.
Yeah, well, and see, probably what that is for them. It's like, this would be like the OG stuff that like nobody knows that they want, but if we give it to them in the right way, then they'll all love it or something like that. But I just want to point out that the only other show that I know of that Jon Favreau produced was the Shannara Chronicles, which has been canceled twice. And not without good reason. It makes CW shows look artistic. Like
He also directed the pilot of Young Sheldon.
He did?
Yes.
Well, in the immortal words...
Now he's overqualified.
In the immortal words of General Grievous, time to abandon ship.
Boop. Canceling your Disney streaming service subscription?
Yeah.
I don't know if they have Pixar movies on there.
I'm gonna swap it over to the CBS All Access so I can watch the show and shit.
So you can watch Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, watch Discovery.
Or you can watch that Khan miniseries that they're gonna do, or the one where there's like 4 Star Trek series in development at CBS All Access.
Yeah, see, and my thing is like that's what this smells like to me. This whole like, get the Disney streaming service so you can watch our stuff that you're gonna want anyways. Like that's pretty much what CBS tried to do by making a new Star Trek show that was exclusively, other than the pilot, on their streaming service. Like it may work, and I don't know how well All Access did after they made exclusive content for it, but that's pretty much what it seems like. You're just gonna make me pay for more stuff, like.
But if Disney's smart enough to like put, we've got our Pixar library on there. You can watch like the Golden Age Disney,
Steamboat Willie. Yeah, you could watch Steamboat Willie.
Or even just like the early color films, like here's Pinocchio, here's Dumbo.
Sure,
they have like some artistic merit,
right?
And are just cult status.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and stuff that they don't tend to they pull out of the Disney vault all the time. There's a lot of stuff that it's not necessarily available for you to buy right this minute, unless Amazon stockpiled it, which they probably did.
Which Jeff Bezos, he's got an entire warehouse dedicated to just like the Fox and the Hound.
Right. Yeah.
Any other random Disney movie.
Ooh, yeah, Fox and the Hound's a good one.
Peter Pan or some shit.
Yeah.
Well, Peter Pan's ready to go.
Yeah. Jungle Book's pretty up there. I'm trying to think of another like relatively obscure one. I can't think of one.
I mean, is Sword in the Stone like semi-obscure?
Yeah, I think it is.
Well known,
but I have seen that on Netflix at least.
Oh, really?
Or maybe it's on Hulu or something. It was out there somewhere recently.
Is Song of the South?
Oh no! Absolutely not.
That's
in the vault forever.
Yeah,
that's the Disney streaming service, and then you have to go on the deep web of the Disney streaming service.
Right,
like you have to hack the Disney streaming service to get to Song.
Well, there's the Disney Vault, and then there's some sub levels below the Disney Vault, and it's Song of the South is in the lowest one.
They're actually guarded by stormtroopers.
Yeah, although it's probably, it's probably in there somewhere.
Yeah. I'm sure Disney has
next to the
somewhere.
the Donald Duck propaganda or whatever they've got.
Fuhrer's face.
Yeah,
that's a classic. Oh, I love Der Fuhrer's face.
It's pretty entertaining.
It really is. It's so. I show it to my students and they're like, what? No.
What rogue animator made this? No.
This is a meme, right, Dr. Jenkins? No. No, kids, this happened.
This is the darkness of history.
It's not even dark. It's like it's making fun of Nazism, which is great.
Yeah.
But also, it's like what? Why?
That's where he's screwing in the bullets and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Here's your vacation," and then they pull down like the
screen.
Yeah, the screen of the lake or something. Like vacation is over.
Yeah.
Get back to the work.
Regimented Third Reich style, First Order style.
Yeah, with all the racist, stereotypes of the Japanese soldiers and the Italian
Oh,
soldiers.
that's right. The Whitewash Jones-esque
Um,
caricatures of people. Yeah, that's right.
You know what? It's historical.
Yeah.
That's all you can say.
It is, yeah.
It's part.
But
it's a
but
part
so
of
is
our
Song of the
history.
South by that logic. So
Sure.
I mean, I get that Disney probably isn't gonna put that on their classics library anytime soon.
no.
It's probably not. You probably have to go to some comic convention and go to a booth that nobody visits too often, and
Yes.
shift through all the.
One of the darker corners
Yeah.
that the air conditioning doesn't quite reach.
The light
Yeah.
flickers. Yeah,
Yeah,
Turn down the right back alley
they
and
smell
Comic Con.
They smell
the-
comics.
the
with an
Anaheim
X
Convention Center.
Yeah, an X or two.
or 3.
Ooh.
It's, then you have to shift through all the,
But
all the
that-
copies.
But then you think you're buying Song of the South, you're actually buying Dong of the South. Totally different.
Dong of the mouth.
Dong in the mouth.
That's yeah.
A sausage in the mouth.
You, sir, are a mouthful.
Mr. Fingerbottom. Mrs. Sorry, more Arrested references.
As I stand here
Move
looking.
along.
Should we be paying Mitch Hurwitz like royalties at
You
this?
should be paying us. We're advertising for him.
That's a fair point, and the rest of season 5 really needs that.
Exactly. He owes me. Because I've seen almost the entire season.
Almost half
Yeah.
the entire season.
Right, yeah. Almost half of the entire season that's been released so far. It's been whelming.
It's been, which really describes Star Wars of late, right?
Yeah, it's been
whelming.
whelming.
It's
Yeah,
been
I don't-
there.
I
It's
don't
been,
hate it.
it's
but-
been
Exists.
it's been a constant present at American cinemas,
yeah.
and not Chinese cinemas.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not called Star Wars in the Chinese cinemas.
So Ranger Solo.
Yeah, Ranger Solo or whatever. They took the Star Wars out of the name for China because they knew it wouldn't sell with the Star Wars name.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And it
I know.
still didn't sell.
When will they start doing that here?
Yeah, they should have done that in America.
Yeah, right.
Or just advertised it.
No.
Or given Disney, you're giving Lucasfilm more time to actually release this thing.
So after Jon Favreau's show, which
Yes.
are we on board for that or are we not? I'm on board.
I'll give the
I mean-
pilot. I'll give the pilot a watch.
Yeah.
I mean,
I may have used Shannara Chronicles as a reason to not watch it, but I watched the shit out of the Shannara Chronicles, so
Oh,
I'll probably
belie-
watch the shit out of it.
Believe me, I know. It's been on here plenty of times.
sidebar: when is Lion King coming out? Isn't that next year too?
Yeah,
Oof, Brad Farrow's a busy man.
true.
Am I a lion?
What?
It's a Firefly reference.
Oh, I haven't gotten there for stuff. I'm just watching Firefly for the
Oh,
first time.
Awesome.
So
That's wonderful.
It's fun. Yeah.
This is joyous news.
It's much more exciting
Well,
than
this
any
is-
Star
this
Wars.
is joyous.
Yeah.
Much better than any Star Wars news we're going to hear tonight.
It's better than any Star Wars TV show you could ever hope for.
Mm.
Which, it, I mean, sort of is in some ways. It's not-
The Clone Wars by Jendy Taradowski was by far
Oh,
the
that
pinnacle.
was alright.
It was good.
That was
I
probably.
loved it.
Let's go ahead and say that was the best Star Wars.
It's the
TV
best
show.
they've done in TV so far.
If it
for
was
sure.
better than the entirety of the prequels, then yeah, it was definitely better than like Rebels or Clone Wars or any of that. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Dave Filoni.
Yeah, you can distill all the best parts of the prequels, and that's still better.
It is. If you turned the prequels into like a 30-minute movie just showing the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker,
Yeah.
this would still be better.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because you get some badass Mace Windu in there.
Motherfucker. It's badass everyone. Badass Mace
True.
Windu, badass General
Dooku.
Grievous.
Did you see the E3 announcement? Speaking of Dooku.
Oh, the
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
announcing all these new characters you can play as for Battlefront 2,
Okay.
and they're like Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and everybody's like, woo, you know, and then they go like, and the evil Sith Lord Count Dooku, and there's just silence.
Oh, man.
Not one person laughs or cheers or does anything, and then he goes, but that's not all.
There should have been one dude in the back who's just like, this game's gonna suck.
It sucked. I mean, it already sucks.
everybody's already saying it.
It already
so-
came out, and everybody fucking hates it.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, Battlefront
Yeah.
2.
Mm.
Oh, the microtransactions ruined it.
You have done that yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Here's the thought: don't participate in them.
Surprise, surprise. But people—that's the thing about Star Wars fans. They'd rather participate and complain about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, they probably could still. They would still complain even if they weren't participating. But it's just so much
Right.
more satisfying when you can speak from experience as you complain.
Yeah.
They like to give up money to be screwed.
Right. Yeah. There's this transactional sensation they get. It's, more
I'm
that
part of
capitalism
Star
stuff.
Wars.
Yeah.
I'm in the community.
Because they get my paychecks.
In my soul.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of souls being lost, episode 9. Are we ready to just have?
I think never thought I'd be like apathetic about a J.J. Abrams work. He's not my go-to director. I like him. Like,
Yeah.
generally like, but he's not like the most groundbreaking sci-fi ever. But he
No.
can tell a serviceable story.
He does a pretty solid job.
Super 8 was pretty good.
Super 8 was pretty good. Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Which for was basically Spielberg retread. It was better than it had a right to be.
Right, exactly.
He
yeah.
saved Star Trek.
Yeah.
And before any
he
Star
did.
Trek fans are like, "Oh fuck you," he saved Star Trek.
Yeah.
Nobody gave a fuck about Star Trek in 2000.
Yeah, outside of like the neckbeard old folks who loved it back in the 60s, nobody really cared about Star Trek. It was,
Yeah, anybody whose Star Trek tunic still fits didn't care anymore about Star Trek.
Yeah.
That's right. But Star Trek, Abrams' directing on 9 still just, I'm like, nothing makes this exciting to me because of episode 8. It just, I don't care where the story goes anymore. And I don't really, it would take a critical mass of like people I know telling me, it's a good movie for me to go out and see it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to give up money to go see a Star Wars movie I'm not going to like.
Yeah, it's like, it sounds a lot like when you thought your grandparents were getting you an N64 and then they didn't get it for you and they take you out for ice cream because they can tell you were disappointed. It's like, well, I mean, ice cream's better than nothing, but it's not better than an N64. Like, I'd rather just get what I thought I was getting before, and I'm not getting that now. I know I'm not.
If we want to compare movies, I feel like I'm not trying to compare quality, but Last Jedi is the Batman v Superman of Star Wars in terms of where it's like it tried to be bold and daring, didn't really succeed, and kind of killed a lot of the hype for most of what was coming.
Yeah.
In the way that, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Episode 9 is like the Justice League equivalent of Star Wars, where it's like very clearly trying to course correct, and it turns out okay, but people just don't really come out for it anymore.
Right,
and I think Episode 9 really does have the possibility. It could be the last straw. It could be the third strike for Star Wars because a lot of fans hated Last Jedi to the point that its Rotten Tomatoes score is like shit, and the point that it's IMDb
69.
Yeah. Which is, well, there's so many jokes the audience can make. I don't need to pursue that. But and the IMDb score is tanking, and then Solo comes out. And it's a commercial failure. Critics are like, yeah, it's fine. It's it's a 2-hour action movie,
and fans enjoy it too.
Solo?
Most fans enjoyed Solo.
Most fans seem to be enjoying it. Certainly way more than they did The Last Jedi. But at the same time, it's the first Star Wars movie to ever lose money, which.
It's insane.
It's crazy. Yeah.
How do you lose money on a Star Wars movie?
Right, by under promoting it and by doing The Last Jedi. And
also spending $400 million.
Yeah,
on
right.
It.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe don't
just save the other $200 million.
Yeah.
Man of Steel only cost $200 million. I mean, you can make that back.
Yeah. In this movie climate, you can make that back. Also, don't fucking release it a week after Deadpool 2 and a week and like 3 weeks after Infinity War. I heard Lucasfilm wanted to move it back to December, but Disney told them no because they didn't want competition with other Disney movies. I'm like, well, it's like dead in the water. Like,
and they already created competition with other Disney movies because if people didn't want to see Infinity War for the third time, which I saw 3 times, I admit that, they would have seen Solo. Or they would have had more incentive to see Solo, at least.
Sure, yeah.
I've only seen Infinity War once in theaters, but I loved it.
Yeah.
No, but
it's worth a rewatch. It's good.
It is. You don't really get more out of it in the second viewing, but you'll enjoy what you already saw more.
Yeah.
Or at least as much.
No, but Episode 9 has a lot riding on it. I'm worried it'll just be like this generic kind of homogenized, again, pretentious film student coming out. But I'm just worried it'll just be as safe as they can possibly fucking play it. Like Rey is totally in the light side, Kylo is totally in the dark side. Like there's no more, because Rian Johnson, props to him for trying to explore themes. I just don't. It's just not a good movie.
It's poorly written. And the cinematography of Last Jedi is beautiful. It's like the best filmed Star Wars movie. It's every shot is gorgeous.
I don't know about that. I would still say Rogue One is probably the best looking Star Wars movie in terms of like the look and the cinematography and the way that the characters interact with the world around them. Like it.
I don't know if I agree about the cinematography, but in terms of the physical presence of that movie, also like the
production, the
production
artistic
value.
aesthetic of it.
It's the most realistic Star Wars movie where you feel like they really are in, not Jeddah or whatever.
Yeah, a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. The worst
Jeddah really sounds like a Middle Eastern marketplace. It makes sense that they would blow up a Middle Eastern marketplace planet in this movie.
Welcome to Jeddah, my young friend. Would you like to buy this hookah?
Or they cut off your nose if they do. Aladdin? No?
Oh, yeah.
The really racist lyrics to Aladdin.
Combination hookah and fries. Won't break. It broke.
should watch more Disney movies, and I would understand what you're talking.
You've seen Aladdin?
I have. It's been a
Okay, yeah.
long
It's
time.
the opening bit that Robin Williams does as
Yeah.
like little the salesman guy that actually tells the story of Aladdin.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. It's It's been a long ass time. I couldn't quote it.
Well, when Disney makes its live-action remake of Aladdin, you'll have an excuse to go back and watch the cartoon to psych yourself.
Yeah,
well, to just watch that instead of the live action.
I didn't. Do you see they're doing a fucking Nutcracker movie? The
Oh,
Nutcracker in the
yeah.
Four Realms?
Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't know! What are these things?
Yeah, I saw this, like randomly saw it being advertised. I'm like, what? Where the fuck did this come from?
Hollywood just doesn't give a shit anymore. They're willing to clearly try anything.
You
I
know,
mean, how many? We're getting another Terminator movie next year, right? And that's
Oh,
gonna be
really?
or in the next couple of years. I don't know. Why?
it's next year, I think.
It is next year, isn't it? Yeah, because I thought
It's
I read.
filming right now.
Okay.
Oh god, no. Hopefully not with Amelia Clark.
How does that get?
No, with Linda Hamilton.
Yes, that's right.
It
That's
is
right. Those set photos of her leaked.
It's
Yes.
a direct sequel to number 2, which was supposed to be what Terminator Genesis was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But Terminator Genesis was supposed to be the Star Trek 2009 of Terminator.
Right,
Where it's like,
right.
here's the alternate timeline, but
Yeah.
it's still in canon.
Mhm.
I think this one is like, fuck 3, fuck Salvation,
Yeah.
fuck Genesis.
Okay.
We're just following right off, like, 20
mean,
years later.
Salvation makes the rest of those look like dog shit. Even more like dog shit than they already do.
Mm.
Really? Salvation is your favorite of the Terminator sequels? Besides, obviously, 1 and 2?
I mean, the breakdown for me is 2, 1, Salvation, and the rest of it is just fuck it because the other
okay.
two are
Yeah.
unfucking watchable.
Mm.
For me, it's 2, 1, both are very close. And then there's a huge drop. And then there's
Then
there's 3.
Yeah, that chasm is implied.
And then there's 3, and then Salvation I couldn't even get through.
Yeah, I never actually
Yeah.
got to the end of that movie.
And I never saw Genesis.
I saw Genesis.
God, Genesis was one of the worst action movies of the last 20 years.
It was so rough.
It was rough. It was
Yeah.
awful.
And they were clearly trying so hard because, like, what was it, a week or 2 or 3 weeks before the movie came out, they're like, all right, we're not doing well enough. Let's just go ahead and release the spoiler. Like, the whole reason anybody would say this movie was good, let's put that in the TV spot so that everybody knows it going into it.
That was
the John
months
Connor-
before with
Yeah.
the trailer.
Yeah.
Which makes no fucking sense. How do you turn a human being like into 100%?
If they could do that, they wouldn't need to terminate anybody. Humans
right.
get wiped out by being infected and turned into Terminators.
Yeah, at which point they're basically Cybermen. So.
Yeah, right, yes. Exactly.
But
You
Tim
will
Miller
be
will save
deleted.
us.
Who?
Tim Miller, the guy who did Deadpool, is directing the new one.
Okay.
I like this idea that Hollywood is going for now, where it's like, fuck all these sequels that nobody liked, and we'll just follow the last good one.
Mhm.
Like they're doing it with Halloween.
Yeah, I was going to say they're Halloweening themselves.
Yeah, just do it.
Thing.
Yeah, that's
Ish,
more
yeah.
Star Trek
Days of
2009
Future Past.
though.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
it's in
true.
continuity. But I like the idea of like getting away from continuity now and just being like, who gives a shit? Like who
Seriously.
really gives?
You know,
Like we've all
Mark
fucking
Waid-
seen these movies.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, the great comic book scribe Mark Waid put it the best once when he said that no comic book writer ever sits down and says to himself, I want to tell a great story. The starting point for me is where does it fit in continuity? Like no story ever, no great
Yeah.
story ever starts that way.
No.
can you imagine if Logan was in continuity?
Yeah, it would
It
just
would suck.
it would yeah, it would.
Yeah. If Deadpool was in continuity, if it had to fucking follow X-Men Origins Wolverine,
Yeah.
like, how did we get here from Star Wars? But
Yeah. Well, it's like when Abrams said that the Star Wars movies were gonna, like, all the EU, anything that
Yeah.
was the movies are canon. Just saying that alone, like, you freed up so much space and
that's the
room
thing.
to play around with. You know?
People were like, well, why did they wipe all the EU? I'm like, did you really want them to have to fucking tiptoe around, like, the fucking Jedi Academy
Yeah.
trilogy and everything? Just let them do what they want
to
to do.
move an inch with all those chains binding you down.
Nobody wants to see fucking Thrawn movies because we couldn't go back and read those damn books whenever we want to. I don't want to see like. Plus, it would involve recasting Luke, Leia. And doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see stories that have already been told get retold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would just be boring.
For the most part, yeah.
No Star Wars movie should ever be an adaptation.
No,
Oof.
that would be
You
rough.
know, like even the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. Like I'm halfway through reading Kenobi, the novel.
Mhm.
I've been halfway through it since like March.
Okay.
It's good, but I don't need to see the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie adapt this.
Mhm.
Disney just thinks you don't need to see the Obi-Wan.
Yeah, right.
I
Yeah.
know.
The one project that Star Wars fans are like screaming their heads off
Yeah.
to see.
Do you want to get to that now? Because we've
Should
pretty
we?
much said our piece about episode 9.
Yeah, I mean 9 ultimately falls into the same category where it's just sort of too early to say, and we can't critique it on the premise because we just don't know what the premise is.
Yeah.
I think we'll definitely have more to say about the Johnson trilogy or about the other 2 spin-offs that we do know
Yeah.
Disney was developing at some
The
point.
Weiss and Denioff.
That one too.
That's-
Also
yeah.
Is that a series or is that
That's
just
a
gonna be
series
At
one?
least
of
two.
Okay.
I've heard
Yeah.
alternately that it's quote at least two or an actual trilogy.
Well, they said
Okay.
it is a series of films.
Okay.
Oh, so it could be more than three.
Yeah,
Good
Okay.
Lord.
which yeah, Disney is just gonna give us these until we die.
They're gonna we're gonna like it, and
But-
they're gonna give it to us whether we want it or not.
Yeah, exactly.
The next one, or sorry, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you
go
off.
ahead.
Let's just get into the anthology movies then.
Yeah.
There was, before we get into the ones that we know about, there is one that they were definitively doing that is definitively canceled. Because a few weeks ago, there was the rumor that Obi-Wan Kenobi and Boba Fett had been canceled. Disney came out and said everything's still in development, except one thing that got canceled, which was a Mos Eisley Cantina movie.
Oh yeah.
They were planning a Mos Eisley Cantina
So
movie.
what is it going to be like? Waiting?
Yeah.
With
It should be like a film noir piece. It should be about the band playing in the cantina, and it's about one of the singers, and he's just like,
It's Casablanca.
he's secretly
Yeah.
an assassin.
yeah, or Dick, like a private
who-
eye.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
So
they
he's
did the
moonlighting?
books.
What?
They did the book though. Tales from the Mos
Oh,
Eisley
okay,
Cantina,
yeah.
Tales of the Bounty Hunter, Tales
Okay.
from Jabba's Palace. Nobody fucking wants to watch this though.
Where's the conflict?
But if you get Frank Miller and Robert Rodriguez to direct this movie, you can make it like Sin City.
You get Eva Green in it.
Well, I mean, I wasn't talking about the second one, but yeah, I guess A Game to Kill 4 could also be in there. I mean,
Jessica Alba could be stripping in it.
yeah, I mean, just, or whoever, you know.
Sice Noodles.
Is that a thing?
That's the girl that sings in
Oh.
Jabba's Palace, where she's got like the long lip. It's that
Yeah.
horrible, the Jedi rock that they added in the
Yeah.
90s. Yeah, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah, that was horrible.
I don't think many movies have been improved by retroactively adding a musical number.
My God, George Lucas brought the retcon into Star Wars.
No, but they were doing a Mos Eisley Cantina movie, which thank God it's canceled.
Yeah,
That sounds fucking horrible.
there are zero ways. Yeah, if you can't make a mainstream Han Solo movie successful, you're not going to make a good Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like they'd probably get some like up and coming directors so they could pretend like it's more artsy than it really is.
And they'd probably
Yeah.
give it some really terrible title like Wretched Hive, and then
Yeah,
pretend that was clever and
Wretched
original.
Hive, Scum and Villainy.
Yeah, or even just
Yeah.
Scum and Villainy.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Scum/villainy.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a plus sign or something like that.
Oh, Scum Scum v Villainy.
Yeah.
Dawn of
Dawn of the Cantina.
Injustice.
Dawn of the Cantina.
Dawn
Yeah.
of Blue Milk.
Dawn
Yeah.
of ooh.
No, I have.
Dawn of we don't serve their kind. It's about the reasons they don't serve droids anymore.
Oh, yeah, so there's just like some horribly like fucked up droid that comes in and just abuses everybody, and he
Yeah.
just ruined it for all the droids that were gonna come in after him.
Played by Mickey Rourke, and he just like beats people up. or
Fuck
some
yeah.
shit. You know what? Maybe they should put this back in active development
It's
right
just
now.
Mickey Rourke with like two bolts in his neck.
Like Frankenstein
Yeah,
bolt.
he doesn't even look like a droid. He just has like, I don't know, like a metal gauntlet he wears. Like, oh,
No,
yeah.
he has like a nut and a bolt like around a chain.
Yeah,
and he's
here you go.
shirtless and
I'm more machine than man
he's
now.
definitely shirtless. Yeah.
yeah.
I think I'd rather watch a movie about Lando's like robot sidekick guy from
Oh, with the
Empire
headphones?
Strikes Back. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's
Robot?
great.
I thought you were gonna say L3 from Solo.
Oh, the
Yeah.
satire, the
Yeah,
feminist satire
yeah,
droid.
that is like, look, think whatever you want about the whole. People are like, "Oh, Star Wars is being SJW now." I think it's stupid that people think that that people are against it on pure principle. But that was a horrible character.
I
That
think
was terrible.
That was satire. Like they were
No,
making
no.
fun of the
But
over the top SJW.
Oh, okay.
But it's still terrible. Like she's still really annoying.
I was fine with her.
But I mean, well,
But she
and,
served her purpose.
well, and if that's the point, if it's meant to be satire, then yeah, you should be annoyed by them. That means they did their job right.
Yeah.
she
They were
had-
trying to annoy you with this character.
yeah, she's like
I mean,
Jar Jar Binks. Only everybody knows that she's supposed to.
Right.
Be
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Nobody's keeping up the pretense that like, oh no, he's like a legit character.
She had
Yeah.
like two purposes, and one was to be a satire droid, and the other was to like give Kira an introspective moment, and she did both of those things.
well, it was also to get fucked by Lando.
Yeah, let's not that. The less said about that, the better.
They
Lando
imply that he
really,
fucks the robot.
yeah,
Yeah,
Lando
yeah.
really wanted to put it in his droid,
Okay.
so that happened.
I
and-
mean, it's a droid.
exactly. That's what makes it weird.
If droids can consent, I
They
don't see why
they don't
anybody
have
should.
rights apparently.
No,
in
that's the
Star
whole
They
thing
don't
is
have
that
rights,
she's
they have
like-
protocol.
Yeah,
They're allowed to just be fucking enslaved.
I guess, right?
that's the whole point of this character. She's like,
I mean, if somebody wanted to
About
fuck
it.
his toaster oven, are we gonna fault him for that?
yes, yes, absolutely,
this is-
1,000 times yes.
This is like getting arrested for fucking your pocket pussy. It's like
Yeah,
that's
right,
it's,
yeah.
it's yours.
Yeah, but the pocket pussy can't tell you, please stop that. I don't enjoy this.
But wait, she doesn't do that with Lando, does she? That would be fucked up.
I mean, she does imply that Lando comes onto her and she rejects
She's
him.
not interested. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
yikes.
Like you flat out says. I mean, it's not implied that he actually has sex with her, but
But everybody
very
knows that he
strongly.
wants to.
Oh yeah, like
Okay.
it's not subtle.
Well,
Of course, Lando apparently wants to stick it in half the characters in this movie,
right, yeah.
including the giant space monster that chases them down at one point.
including Han.
Yeah.
Does he make a reference to a Sarlacc pit?
Thankfully, no.
Be
Have you ever seen that? It's like a really bad internet flash comic where it shows Boba Fett out with a bunch of the Jabba's guards guys. They're out in the desert looking down at the Sarlacc pit. He's like, "You guys ever notice that thing looks like a giant vagina? Do you ever think about fucking that thing? I think about it a lot."
So nowadays, instead of a hot dog down a hallway, it's a bounty hunter down a Sarlacc pit.
Sarlacc pit, yeah. A Mandalorian helmet down a great pit of cocaine.
I think we just wrote the 4th Robot Chicken.
Are we up to 4 already?
Yeah, they've done 3.
Damn, Daniel.
Well, they are.
Damn, Seth.
They're way too slow with these. Then what the hell?
Seriously.
There've been like 19 Star Wars
There
movies
should-
since the last special.
Yeah, there should be a Star Wars special every year.
every two Star Wars movies, there should be one Robot Chicken special. What the fuck?
Or at least every trilogy.
Yeah, I guess.
So, now the things that they're actually working on the anthology movies is
Oh, yeah.
Obi-Wan and Boba Fett.
Obi Fett.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obi-Wan?
Two different, not.
I like Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Yeah.
It's not a team up. It's
No.
2 different ones.
Right. Yeah.
But Stephen Daldry is going to do Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then James Mangold is going to do Boba Fett. And I'm like, both of these sound far more interesting than anything else.
Than anything Disney's done with Star Wars so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, these sound like the first thing that could come up and actually, along with Rogue One, have a reason for existing.
Okay, so I think it was Dan Harmon. I was at one of his podcasts years ago, and he brought this thing up about how everybody's doing sequels, everybody's like revamping and rebooting all these old franchises, and he was like, he was specifically talking about RoboCop, and he's like, you know what was really cool about RoboCop when it first came out? It wasn't a fucking sequel. And I feel like that's maybe why all these, well, not all of them, but most of the anthology movies have been better so far, or we enjoyed Rogue One as much as we did. It's because it's new and different. Because guess what? When Star Wars came out, it was new and different.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just constantly making reference back to something else. It was a new and different thing. So, yeah, if they keep bringing us new and different things, we're going to like it more and more. But if they keep on trying to be like, oh, well, we've got to balance the canonical elements and keep, like, faithful to the source material or whatever, that's not... pussyfooting around and nobody enjoys that. You need to bring something new to the table.
I think you're right. I think that's why Solo failed too, is because nobody wants to hear the story about how Han met Chewie. We know that they met in time for them to be in Episode 4 together.
But
nobody cares about how he won the Falcon. We know that he took it from Lando. We don't need the same stories told to us again and again. We don't need continuity hashed out to the point of beating a dead horse.
Yeah, I mean, I find it to be a lot less interesting once you know every minute detail about some kind of backstory like that. It's like it's a little more exciting and a little more like, for lack of a better term, like magical when you don't know exactly how this came about. It's just they reference to it and you have an idea of how it worked. And like, I feel like it's beating a dead horse.
It's more fun to let the viewer, the audience's mind fill in the blanks.
Yeah,
let them be a little creative. And have their head.
It's like it's like philosophically Hitchcockian.
Yeah,
you know, like you just let them make it up in their own minds. And it'll probably be better than anything you're gonna actually show them. Exactly.
There's a Red Letter Media video where they go through like a whole like fucking article on Darth Vader's armor, and they're like just laughing about how minute all the details are and how there's like a serial code, and there's a part where they say like, oh yeah, some steel was in it, and they go like, I guess some steel, and then they go we know it was some, we have the documents that prove it. That's like, it's funny, but it's also, that's like boils down to what is wrong with Star Wars, where it's like when you treat it like the fucking Civil War, like the American Civil War, where it's like, what was Ulysses S. Grant doing?
When did he have his bowel movement that day?
From a history professor, Ulysses S. Grant was part of the Civil War, right?
Not the Captain America one, but the America Fights America one, yeah.
I'm just double checking because it's fucking 12:30 at night.
Ulysses S. Grant was widely credited with winning the Civil War.
Good. But you get my point, though, right? It's like...
Was he credited with that in the South or the North?
Definitely in the North. The South was too busy... spitting at Sherman to actually blame him.
But you remember that famous photo from the Civil War where like the guy's like in the trench and he's like sleeping and he's got his like rifle next to him.
Spoiler alert, Andy. He's not actually sleeping.
Or not sleeping, dead. He's dead.
Yes.
They moved. It was the one where they moved the body.
He's
right?
forever sleeping.
That's a lot. Yes,
They moved the body.
A
And
lot
they,
of them
Yeah.
were staged like that, unfortunately. But yeah,
But you know that famous picture,
I do.
Dr. Jenkins,
Miss Jenkins.
Mr. Doctor, Mr. Doctor,
No,
Professor
Miss.
Jenkins.
No, it's not Mister. It just sounded like you cut off at Miss and said like Miss Jenkins, which amused me.
Let's compare this to the Civil War, though. Like, imagine Star Wars was the Civil. We don't need the fucking story. Imagine.
Yeah,
like,
and even like there's.
the
there's two
Civil
types,
War we do because it was real.
Well, even there's like two types of Civil War people. There's like people who understand this is an important event in our history, and they want to understand, okay, why did we fight over this? How can this never happen again? And then there's like the goat fuckers who want to be like, well, I'm gonna go I'm gonna research what the clothing was made out of, what they're eating, and actually go do this for a week that we just make fun of in professional circles.
Well, they're treating Star Wars the way historians treat the Civil War,
right?
Where they're like, oh, he doesn't like you. Why doesn't he like you?
Yeah.
We need to know. And it's like, nobody fucking. This is a fantasy series that even George Lucas has admitted is for children.
Yeah.
It's totally fine to enjoy it. You know why? Because most fucking adults enjoy
You
it.
can enjoy things at all ages, even if it's designed for a child.
Yeah.
Or people going back to the prequels like, well, what's wrong with Anakin being in love with Padme? Because we know that Luke falls in love with and marries Mara Jade, who's a part of the dark side. Just don't.
Yeah, we have the documents. You know what I mean? It's like, this
I
shit,
feel like we have the documents needs to be a meme.
Yeah, all this shit is made up.
Yeah.
So let the people who are making it up do what they actually want to do.
And make up new shit.
Yeah.
As Jason was telling us.
Yeah.
Tell new stories.
But that's why
What
I'm
a
like,
concept.
make Obi-Wan and Boba Fett, because clearly, like, Stephen Daldry, I don't know his work that much, but he's clearly, like, not a sellout. Like, he doesn't have, like, a bunch of, like, Brett Ratner-esque, like fucking...
Wish you would
Just-
quit referencing.
Just
this guy.
studio mandated movies. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
Like, there's no X-Men Apocalypse on his filmography, as
Yeah.
far as I can tell.
Okay.
So, like, the fact that he's doing this, I'm like, can you imagine, like, what he would do with Obi-Wan and, like, actually make, like, I always say it would be like Logan in Star Wars, but
It'd be a lot like that.
I
Yeah.
would fucking want to see that.
Well,
Like,
put,
it sounds
put,
really
a pin,
good.
put a pin in Logan and Star Wars, because we'll get back to that with Mangold and Boba Fett, right? But as far as Obi-Wan goes, I mean, just the character himself is, I think, interesting and compelling enough. And if you can get Ewan McGregor to come back and do that part again, that's lightning the ball.
Well, there's a rumor that it's going to be made, but it's going to premiere on the Disney streaming service.
Yes.
Which I'm like, please,
Interesting.
look, I want to see this regardless, and if this is the way it's going to get made, that's fine. But I would much rather see this be the new Star Wars movie and put a lot of hype around it and a lot of, like, oomph behind it and actually have this be the new Star Wars thing that everybody goes and sees.
Yeah.
Because then the general audience sees, oh, Star Wars isn't just,
franchise product.
Yeah, franchise product.
It's not all Age of Ultron.
I mean, it is franchise product because they're going to spend $200 million on it.
Right.
But it can be a good story, too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm like, I don't want to see the one thing that actually has some creative juice behind it get relegated to, like, oh, only the hardcore fanboys are going to watch it.
Yeah.
You know?
Even if it's just 2 hours of, like, Ewan McGregor going on, like, a peyote-induced Force Vision quest.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Seriously, can we just have that?
Badass.
Where he goes and lives with Tusken Raiders for a week, and they teach him, like, how to smoke his shit. And he sees ghosts.
And then for the rest of the movie, he's just flashing back to his trip.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Hit the high ground. He's got the high
That's
ground.
Kenobi, the high ground,
If
Star Wars story.
If it were done with like Tarantino-esque like chapters, that would be the one where he goes and lives with the Tusken Raiders.
See,
the high ground,
why
chapter
can't-
6.
And if it, like the mid-century pulpy music.
Why can't we have a fucking Star Wars movie with
Kenobi?
chapters?
The word Kenobi comes on screen with like a bullet.
No, with the blaster noise. But why can't we have a Star Wars movie with chapters? Why can't we have a non-linear Star Wars movie? Why
Well,
can't we
they're
have
all-
any of this shit?
Because they're all
Why?
they're all chapters already.
I don't
It says-
care.
It says chapter at the beginning of each one.
Fuck.
You can't have a chapter in a chapter, Andy.
You can have a chapter in an episode. They're episodes. Episode 4, episode 5.
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a sub-chapter. It's a
Yeah.
paragraph.
Yeah, it's like one of those bullet points in like a school textbook.
So the text crawl for that would be like episode 3, chapter 19, epilogue. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
But just make something that's like far more interesting than. That's why even like the Mos Eisley movie, I'm like, you know what? Whatever.
Well, it's like what J.J. Abrams did with Star Trek. Is he made a badass sci-fi movie? and it happens to be Star Trek.
Yeah.
That's what he did to bring people back to this and be like,
Yeah.
hey guys, look, this can be cool. It's probably not what the Trekkies wanted, but it has stuff for them, and they can enjoy it too if they can allow it to be a new thing. But yeah, it just brought general audiences in. They were like, oh, cool, I like this. Star Trek. Who knew that Star Trek was cool? And they go back and they watch and they're like, oh, wait, I don't like this, but I like this movie.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh,
Exactly.
tribbles. Oh, get out of here.
But like,
Seems inappropriate.
I think the problem that they're going about, and I'm not in the development process of these at all, but I feel like
You're not?
I feel like the way they distill these movies down is the core thing behind these movies is it's a Star Wars movie, whereas they should distill it down into the story they want to tell. Logan is about a generational story, and it's the X-Men.
Right.
Like, Kenobi should be about guilt.
Yeah.
And it's Star Wars.
Right,
You
Guilt?
know what I mean?
What does Obi-Wan have to feel guilty about?
Oh, I don't know.
Not like pushing
fucking-
Anakin all the way into the lava?
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Just holding his head under the lava
Yeah,
for a while to
seriously.
fucking
Lava-
do the deed.
Lava boarding him, yeah.
yeah.
Lava boarding Anakin.
Or fucking half-assing and crippling this kid.
Seriously.
But you get my, like, it should be about something
Well,
before Star Wars.
yeah, 'cause-
Star Wars should come secondary.
Exactly.
Right, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
They're following a "if we build it, they will come" sort of mentality. If we put the Star Wars brand on it, they will come, and someone
Yeah.
prove that that's not true.
Yeah, if we burn Star Wars into the side of it, then that's what's going to sell it. And unfortunately, that's not what sells much of anything.
Nobody
No, and
came-
even
they all
Star
had
Wars-
light chubs.
Even
Nobody came.
light speed chubs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lightspeed chubs.
Even the Star Wars TV shows have not been wildly successful. I mean,
Mhm.
Rebels got canceled after a few seasons.
Mhm.
Clone Wars, they both made it 5 years, which is fine.
Yeah. Well, the Clone Wars got canceled because of the Disney acquisition, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, but at least Disney had the courtesy to like, okay, Filoni, you can come do more if you want.
Yeah. Even with the light chub, you can come.
Well, hell.
Oh, hell! But no,
I don't know if I like where this is going.
Yeah.
the Boba Fett movie.
Yeah.
With James Mangold,
I
that's
think-
more than a light chub. I'll just tell you that. That's full on.
I think the
if
table
you-
just moved a little bit.
Yeah.
If you
I
guys
wanna
haven't
back
picked
away a
up
little
on
bit.
it, Andy is a big fan of Logan.
Yeah,
a
I
big
am.
fan of Logan.
I am a big fan of Logan. Okay.
Along with like 90% of X-Men fans out there who have seen the movie.
Well,
Yeah,
because
oh,
it's
yeah.
a fucking X-Men movie that I actually wanted to see.
Yeah, it's the Little Miss Sunshine of X-Men movies.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy for it.
It is.
It is. You're right.
It's a very similar premise.
I call it
road
the
trip, road trip from hell with a young girl.
Yeah, with an unlikely family unit.
Yeah.
Well,
I-
I mean, not that the
But
the Little Miss
thankfully-
Sunshine family is an actual family, but
Right.
still.
Thankfully, Wolverine's last words aren't "fuck a lot of women."
Yeah.
That's the trip that says yeah. Okay.
Not just one woman, a
A
lot, of women. Oh my god, Alan Arkin in that is so brilliant.
He was. He was great.
Yeah, I think I crushed it.
I call it the No Country for Old Men of X-Men movies.
Sure,
Absolutely.
Because it's
Yeah,
very
you're right.
much in that vein.
Mm-hmm,
But yeah, Boba Fett, I'm like, fuck yeah. Just make like a crime thriller, like a Western crime thriller.
That
Like,
I feel like would be most successful if it's like you make it about somebody who's being hunted by Boba Fett, and it's
Oh,
not like
yeah.
he's not like the main character. I'm sorry,
yeah.
but a cool suit of green armor is not enough to like make a movie.
Oh yeah.
he should
but-
be the Michael Myers of this Halloween.
Yes,
that would
movie.
be
perfect
pretty
analogy.
badass,
Or you
yeah.
make it like a horror-esque vibe,
Yeah.
where Boba Fett is the movie monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I keep saying. People are like, oh, they should make a Vader movie. Especially, they're like, not to be mean, but like James Earl Jones is getting up there.
Sure.
And if they don't make it before he dies,
Right.
nobody wants to hear somebody else voice Darth Vader.
Well, can't they
No.
just take every word that he's already like
Well, they-
recorded and have him like, okay, these are the words that James Earl Jones has spoken in any movie ever.
Yeah.
We're gonna buy the rights to that dialogue, and anything else that we need him to say, we'll
Yeah.
record in the next like
Well,
year or two.
I'm not sure if this is scary to you or not, but they actually could totally do that with the with algorithms that exist already.
That's
Yeah.
a
They,
fair point.
they would just have to feed all of the audio that they have of him into this machine, and it would basically be able to spit out any dialogue they want. So,
And because of the breathing problem, even if it's a little glitchy,
yeah.
it's
makes-
fine.
Yeah.
In fact, we prefer if you could
Yeah.
send it out a little glitchy,
Yeah.
that'd be
Yeah.
preferable.
But people make fun of the fact that there should be a Vader solo movie. I'm fine with a Vader solo movie because that sounds like you could do like a real horror movie type concept with it. People are like, oh, what do you call the fucking prequels? What do you call the
That's not
original
a Vader
trilogy?
movie.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
I'm fine with a smaller scale kind of Vader movie of him maybe hunting down some Jedi or whatever. Like that would be much more interesting.
Yeah, like continually like losing more and more of his humanity.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, but Boba Fett, yeah, I like the idea of he's like, and a lot of Star Wars is best seen through the eyes of someone else. Like
Oh,
Luke is your vision, your eyes into Star Wars in the original trilogy.
Yeah, this hick farm boy who's like totally disconnected from like the war,
Right,
from
yeah.
galactic politics.
Yeah, so a lot of Star Wars is best seen through characters that are much more like palatable to the audience, that
Yeah.
actually really could work.
Yeah.
But also, the fact that fucking James Mangold is writing and directing it means it's probably going to work, and leave him the fuck alone. Just let him make it. Look, if he puts a bunch of gratuitous sex scenes in there, I can
Yeah, I was
understand.
gonna say, how many dick jokes can we expect from the Boba Fett movie?
No, but those are the two I want to see.
I feel like the thing about Fett is, I feel like it was going to pick up one of the, whether it gets made or not. I feel like the part of the point of that movie was, I hope it does, was that it was going to pick up one of the dangling plot threads from Solo that I won't mention because Jason hasn't seen it yet.
Do you care? It's not a...
I mean,
What I'm
I'll see
thinking
it eventually
is
but
a big, huge
I think I'm okay with
spoiler.
hearing it. Go for it.
Well,
Well, if you don't think I should hear it, then maybe not. But I don't know.
Look,
I plan to see it. But
I know you're...
If hearing this means I don't have to see it anymore, then maybe I won't.
No, it doesn't affect the main story, but it is like there's like a huge spoiler. So I don't want to. But I feel like
But it's like a...
I feel like
He's
it's a
Han's
fan
father?
service.
no, I wish that.
But it's a fan
Han's one of the
service.
clones?
It's a fan service spoiler. It's not a narrative spoiler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you care?
Well, I think I do.
Fine,
You made it
fine
sound
then.
so appealing.
But I feel like that we both, what I'm talking about.
no,
The
I know.
audience knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Everyone listening knows.
I feel like that plot thread that didn't get fully developed in Solo was like gonna go somewhere in one of the future spin-off movies because it's clearly something that had to be dealt with like in the past time period. You can't pick it up with Force Awakens or and I feel like that would rear its head up in a Boba Fett movie because it's all about crime in Star Wars galaxy,
or
right?
even a Kenobi movie.
Yeah,
given the history.
especially
given the
especially in a
yeah.
Kenobi movie. Yeah,
Not that Lando spin-off I've been waiting for.
Or he fucks the droid. He finally fucks the droid.
Well, I mean, not if we're going backward in time.
Oh.
Or maybe it goes back to the first time he fucked a droid, and now he just can't get enough. He had a taste of that sweet nectar, and he's just chasing the dragon.
Lobot used to be an actual human being, but then he like got robot parts put inside him just so he could like get turned off. I'm done. Absolutely done.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Wait, that's the headphones guy?
Yeah.
So what he does is he just takes the headphones things and he flips it over, and then behind it's actually hiding another face.
Oh no!
It's a woman's face. And
No!
female genitalia on the back.
Yeah, and all the joints in his body
Yeah,
pop out. You just turn him around.
Yeah.
So is it a pussy that's just on the back of his
No,
skull,
it's just a female face.
It's a woman's
Yeah.
face. Yeah.
So he doesn't have an asshole. He has a vagina.
Yeah, exactly.
And he just shits. Well, I guess.
Well, he's a robot,
yeah,
so
I guess.
he probably
it's just steam. That
It's
comes
hydraulic fluid.
Out. Yeah.
So.
Woo! It's that time of the month.
Oh man.
Woo! It's hot.
It's getting a little steamy in
Oh,
here.
I'm getting a little chub.
Oh, God damn it!
You're getting
Again?
a big chub.
Yeah. Let's
Chub.
chub.
Was that an Ewok reference?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
just
Wicket.
Just making sure. Yeah, Wicket.
Instead of
Chub chub.
It's jump chub.
You know what? Most people that watch Carrie Fisher in that movie, chub chub.
Oh, God.
I think so. Yeah, that kickstarted puberty for an entire generation.
Yeah. Oh. It's like It was like it's like the Beatles for women, but
Yeah.
but for nerd guys.
Yeah. You still have to clean all the seats.
Yeah. But that's also how they knew they had a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Just the audio of that without the visual. I can't imagine what this video is.
Yeah, I don't know what anybody thinks I just did.
I don't know. Let me get the
I'm not
let me
even
get the
gonna
moist
say.
towel that symbol.
Woo!
We'll have evidence.
We're
Yeah.
gonna need the wet vac for this.
The shop will be closed tomorrow.
And the day after.
For sanitizing
Next
purposes.
week. Yeah.
No, let's.
Pool will be open 4th of July.
We will be open 4th of July,
Yeah.
everybody.
Really?
Regular
Mhm.
hours.
Does new stuff come out?
Yeah.
Batman 50.
Batman 50,
Wedding.
the wedding issue.
You guys have to be on the 4th. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm taking a half day.
Fair.
We'll be open all the hours, but I'm only gonna have to be here throughout the day.
Oh yeah. Then
That'll be nice.
We're not going to tell anybody what half of the day it is, though.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So Jason can avoid. No.
Well, no, he'll be in an hour, out an hour, in an hour.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to move on?
Yeah. Should we? What comes next? Do we want to do Johnson or D&D?
Let's do Ryan Johnson trilogy because that's the more likely, the one that's coming next.
Yeah, and they're already filming that shit, or it's supposedly starting it.
No, they're not filming.
Well, I
it
heard
yet.
I heard that the target date to start filming was summer 2018.
Yeah, well, they wanted. They said, well, the fucking thing is I saw an article that said like, don't expect Ryan Johnson's trilogy before 2020, and I'm like,
That's
because it hasn't fucking filmed yet.
See,
Like,
I read
of
the same
course.
articles, but they were titled, "Oh, Johnson's trilogy could be here sooner than we think. It could be here 2020, 2021." Which,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like right on the heels of Episode 9, so it's not that far away.
I wonder what he's going to do. Because when it was first announced, they were like, "Oh, it's going to be Old Republic." I'm like, I don't know if he's going to be doing.
I don't think he's going to be the one to do Old Republic.
I hope they
They'll
don't.
probably do it.
I hope they don't. Honestly,
I feel like they're too tempted to do it, and it's
I
like a
hope
nice
they-
big pocket of EU content that they can use.
I hope. I mean, that just doesn't float my boat.
Mm.
I don't care about ancient Star Wars history. And if anything, Disney should be learning right now. Okay, we tried to make a historical Star Wars film with Solo, to fill in this character's history.
Yeah.
It didn't work. So if anything, they've been disincentivized from making an Old Republic movie.
Maybe, but what they could do is, I mean, maybe they can do Old Republic, but not necessarily draw specifically from actual Old Republic canon.
Right.
You know, if they just set it in those times and kind of
Yeah.
draw some of those elements out, and then make a bunch of new characters and make a bunch of new storylines and stuff like that. That's again what we were talking about, having some room to all this room for activities.
But even so, we know from that point that it leads where it leads.
Right. That's
in
a good
the
point.
long
Yeah.
run.
Yeah. So it does end up being a Lincoln
Right.
biopic.
No,
We know how this story ends.
not if it's really Old Republic and it's like 1,000 years before.
Yeah. Well, that to me sounds a little bit like some of the tangential Game of Thrones books, yeah.
Well, that's
Knight of the
exactly what I
Seven
was thinking. That
Realms.
prequel series they just
Yeah.
ordered.
Mhm.
I'm
Prequel series they just ordered on.
Oh, for Game of
Indeed.
Thrones.
yeah,
Oh.
for Game of Thrones.
Did they finally settle on one? Because I know there were 3 of them that were in the running.
They at least one is getting a pilot order.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll see how
Well,
that
do we know which
goes.
one it is?
Well, it's supposed to
think
be
we know.
the one that's 1,000 years before.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's gonna suck.
Well,
I don't know. I've been reading the Knight of the Seven Realms. It's good.
Yeah, but that's 100 years before.
Yeah, it's
So it's like-
roughly 100, maybe a little less.
But it's recognizably the same society with the same
Yeah.
customs, the same.
Same families
culture.
in power and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
You can't swing a dead cat without hitting a Stark or a Lannister
Right.
or Targaryen.
Well, yeah. So far there haven't been any Starks, but they talk about going north to the Wall, and the Targaryens, of course, we know they ruled for ages.
There's
So
fucking billion of them.
yeah.
Okay.
Even though they were only fucking each other,
Yeah.
they still managed to reproduce quite a few.
I don't know. Does incest result in the egg splitting being more likely?
I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
a good question.
That's something scientists should look into.
Hmm.
Or maybe
sure
they
they have.
shouldn't look into.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna look at twins and triplets differently if they find anything out about that.
Especially if they have hyper silver hair and purple eyes.
They talk about banging in the womb.
There was this great article I read on the internet the other day. Oh, a sonogram operator appalled when he sees kids in the womb kissing. And
Oh.
someone just photoshopped a picture of Cersei and Jamie
Oh,
giving each
nice.
other a look as they're reading this article.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was cute. It was funny. And they found the one picture of Minahidi smiling in character to flesh it out. So it's good research on that one.
Right, yeah. Well,
Cersei never smiles.
when she does, then you know that you're probably about to get stabbed.
Pretty much, yeah. You're about to. She's having a job at your expense. I mean, this is the same woman who tortured 2 women to death and immediately had to go have sex with her husband because it turned her on. So not her husband, excuse me, her brother.
Her
'cause
brother.
It turned her on so much.
Who would be her husband if she had her way?
Yeah.
Instead, she just had her way with him.
Yes.
Boom.
Or to him even.
That's
She may have had to cram him in there.
right. He wasn't really feeling it at that point, was he?
I think he said no, and she said yes now.
She's like, I'm your queen.
Yeah.
Your queen regent.
Yeah.
Ever.
No, she was queen at that point.
Oh, was she queen?
She'd been queen.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right. Yeah. So this was after the boom boom.
Yeah, and Jamie was have to be back in that queen.
I just picture our viewers' faces right now,
Yeah.
or our listeners' faces.
I try not to think
Fuck.
too hard about
Fortunately,
that.
she didn't have to shovel coal to.
Jamie didn't even want to tell you.
This
when he
used to
thought that
work.
bit. Yeah. Oh.
I'm only 1 episode into Game of Thrones. This is lost on me.
Well,
So
you-
Sophie
at
Turner
least-
hasn't even gotten hot yet for you.
Yeah, he's seen the first episode though, so you do know about the twincest.
Yes.
So that's
and then
mostly.
he
what you
pushes
need
him
to
off
know
the
to understand.
off the fucking
Yeah.
tower. Yeah, I
Mhm.
know that
The
part.
things I do for love.
Mhm.
Oh hell.
I was like,
Oh boy.
So Johnson trilogy.
Yeah. Is that what Johnson says when he's making the movies? And he's
Things
like,
I
the
do
things
for
I
love."
do for love. And then he makes the movie. And that's the equivalent of pushing a child off of a tower.
Oh.
I think the thing about Johnson is that he's an auteur. He really wants the freedom to tell his own story, which when you're doing a shared universe, that
I don't have a problem with Johnson, by the way.
I don't have a problem with
don't.
Johnson either. He can be a brilliant storyteller.
I love
They're-
Rick.
Brick's
Love Brick.
brilliant.
So good.
He directed some of the best episodes of Breaking Bad. Ozymandias, which is
yeah.
the second. He kills Hank. So
Oh fuck yeah.
yeah, right.
Oh shit, that's a great episode.
Walt. You're one of the smartest guys I know, but he already made up his mind 10 minutes ago. Shot to death. It was so good. That whole
Jesus
scene.
Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Johnson, like, I'm not here to just bash on him unequivocally, but I think that he like took this auteur approach to something that's like an established property that is a cinematic universe unto itself that has built-in rules.
Yeah.
And so
Well, and I think a lot of these rules are relatively new too, so that might be part of the problem. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You're right.
I'm glad he's in Star Wars though.
Yeah,
I'm glad he's working in this world.
I will trust him more with like his own playground.
His own
character.
Yeah.
It's clearly going to be about the broom boy though, right?
I don't think so.
I think it will. I really do.
I got to be honest. I hope this isn't. I don't think it is. In fact, I know it's not. But I hope it's not like anywhere near close to being episodes 10, 11, and 12. Like, I don't need this to be a part of the main saga in any way.
I'm not even sure. Is there going to be a main saga after 9? Because
I don't think
Disney makes it sound like
They may have learned their lesson.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, and Andy, earlier did you say that it was the Last Jedi was the Age of Ultron of Star Wars movies?
Mhm.
I mean, that totally sounds like Joss. We know he can make a good movie. He's done a bunch of good TV. He's done I think some good movies.
When you didn't have Kevin Feige like pulling his puppet strings.
Right, yeah,
and,
when
like,
you don't have a bunch of
whispering
executives telling you, like, yes, no, you can't do that, stop that, put a dog in it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't...
Age of Ultron would have been great if it had a dog. Or if it had robots, or Vision's robot dog. What was his name? Sparky?
Yeah, robot dog?
This is why you need to read Tom King books.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the Tom King pitch is coming in right now,
God
because
damn
he is the one who gave Vision a dog. What was the dog's
well, there you go.
name? Sparks? Or
I don't
Sparky
remember.
Sparky would make sense.
Sparky?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good name for a robot dog, right? Or a synthezoid
Besides
dog.
Goddard,
Oh,
Jimmy
yeah!
From
Oh my
Jimmy
gosh.
Neutron?
Yeah.
he had a robot dog named Goddard.
Okay.
It's going off the rails.
Doesn't it sort of
We
start
don't
off
have
the rails?
rails here.
There's no Frozone here.
Besides
to,
the
like,
ones that we do before this,
Yeah.
for this episode.
There's no like Frozone here to make a frozen ice track under our monorail when it goes careening off wildly away from the tracks because Underminer has undermined.
They're starting to talk about incest.
No, does that sound like someone
Oh, boy.
blowing? Never mind.
Oh boy.
That was supposed to be the ice powers, but it could also be the result of the
Shouldn't
massive
it be more
chub.
like a
that
whooshy
one-
sound or something? Why did it? Why did it
Is that what it sound like when Frozone?
swoosh? Like cold winds or
When
something.
he like.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honey.
Pretty sure it sounds more like motherfucker.
He almost says that in Incredibles 2. There's a scene
Really?
where like Samuel Jackson's character is saying "What the fuck," and then he like gets cut off.
Nice.
It's good.
He was actually gonna say with the Frozone, but
No, he like you can hear the U sound in there. What? The
Oh, nice.
fuck? Or it's like Faro.
Oh, that's like on SNL, where he said, "Man, fuck," and then like he stops because he thought because it's live.
Right.
He thought that his castmate was going to cut him off,
Right.
but he like went into fuck, and they didn't cut him off in time.
Oh.
So he's like, "Man, fuck," and then like he kind of stops like this, but he like still has that Samuel L. Jackson face, and then like I think it's Kenan Thompson. He goes like, "Come on, man, that costs
Okay.
money." Like,
This is why Keenan went on to become a thing, and Kel did not.
yeah. And you
He's
hear him
still
in the
working at the Good Burger.
He is.
you hear him in the background go like, "This is some bullshit."
But Johnson trilogy.
Yeah, I'm in for it. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I think it'll be better than The Last Jedi.
Can't be worse.
Mm?
Actually, no, it could be worse. It could
Yeah, it
definitely be worse.
It could be more BB-8 and Rose Tico.
poor Rose. Poor Kelly Marie Chan.
Yeah, with the
Who was just acting out words that someone else wrote and doing a serviceable job of it,
Yeah.
and does not deserve hate for the fact that these people didn't like this movie.
Yeah, it's a constant thing that happens though with like moviegoers where they're just like, oh, I hate Eric Bana. Why? Because I hated that Hulk movie. First of all, why? And also, why? Like none of that is his fault.
Yeah,
He was just paid to do a job.
yeah, like Nicolas Cage.
Right. Yeah.
Nicolas Cage turns shit into art,
I know,
but occasionally he turns art into shit, so it sort of evens out.
So yeah, that's what he was out. He's both yin and yang.
I'm a sexy cat.
Kryptonite.
Switch. Kryptonite.
Scratching at the door.
Step away from the bike. From the Wicker Man. Have you
Oh.
seen The Wicker Man?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love The Wicker Man. The Wicker Man is one of my favorite movies ever, like unintentionally funny movies ever made. It's a comedy. It's like The Happening.
Oh yeah.
Step
oh, yeah.
away from the bike. Or what about when he's on the boat and then he sees like the girl that he didn't save and then just like the truck hits her.
I think we need to do a Nick Cage podcast.
Oh,
Yes.
shit, yeah, you're
Of
right.
all the Nick Cage movies.
We
or
really
at least
do.
like a
Yeah,
or a
hits.
big chunk of them. Yeah.
A big chunk of them.
Yeah. Yeah, but you guys
Not
need
a
to see
light
Mom and Dad.
Do we though?
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
That's a
that
great one.
again.
It's from the guys that made fucking Crank.
I do love Crank.
Yeah,
And
and-
Crank 2 High Voltage.
and it's Nick Cage. You're gonna love it.
So they must have just hit it off after they made Spirit of Vengeance together.
Probably.
That's fine.
Nick Cage seems like a nice enough guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's your comic book entry too. Freaking Ghost Rider.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
For-
Start
yeah,
with
what we
Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance and
Okay.
Kick-Ass.
Yeah, true. And Superman Lives.
Yeah. I mean,
But
there's
it
not
didn't.
really much to
Oh,
go
and
off of with that.
Batman Triumphant when he was gonna play the Scarecrow.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
He was supposed to play the Scarecrow.
Nice.
Oh, and Spider-Man 2002 because he was supposed to be Green Goblin,
Yeah.
which
Whoa,
would have been
we
fucking
lucked-
amazing.
We lucked out on that. Are you kidding me? Though, Willem Dafoe.
I
Yeah,
no.
Willem
I
Dafoe.
love Willem Dafoe,
Did,
but that would have been fucking
What if we
amazing.
cast a guy who's scarier when he's not wearing the monster mask?
Yeah.
That's how Willem Dafoe gets every job.
Yeah, right.
You and I are not so different.
The best moment in like any superhero movie ever is Willem Dafoe's like brief cameo in Spider-Man 2.
Avenge me!
When you think for like half a second, oh shit.
Yeah.
That was so ready to like call. Okay, this is the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah.
Or Spider-Man 3. You've taken your eye off the ball. First, we attack his heart.
Shit.
It's a great movie.
Willem
Well,
Dafoe.
not Spider-Man 3, but like,
No, but Spider-Man 2.
yeah,
Mhm.
Willem
Oh, yeah,
Dafoe,
Spider-Man
though,
2 for
which was released 14 years ago today,
Woo!
June 30th. That's probably July 1st now.
As anyone
Yeah.
who's reading Andy's tweet Twitter page already knows.
Oh yeah, you saw it.
I liked it.
Oh.
I think I liked it. hope
I
liked
don't
it.
know.
If I didn't, I'll like it once we get some more.
Yeah.
You didn't like it already. Now you have to like it and retweet it.
Okay.
Posthumous like,
Posthumous.
Posthumous.
like
We're not
like,
actually getting stabbed tonight.
no, like the life of the tweet is
Oh
over.
yeah,
It's a posthumous like.
it's already old news.
Yeah. Speaking of things that are old news that we haven't talked about, the Game of Thrones guys
Yeah.
Mhm.
doing Star Wars.
I'm betting Emilia Clarke is glad that she made her Star Wars movie and got
Yeah,
out because now she doesn't have to appear naked in a movie with guys who like to make her take her clothes off a lot.
Dude, I'm all in for their.
I mean, most guys
Working on
would like to make her take the clothes off a lot. Let's be fair.
To take their clothes off. Too.
Yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. If it's on the menu.
It is. If you watch Game of Thrones, it is the menu, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, season 1 at least.
Well, because you get like Cersei, who's Lena Headey's too good for that.
Apparently.
You get like Natalie Dormer naked once,
Oh yeah.
top only.
Yeah.
So I mean, Emilia Clarke really is the menu. I don't know what they keep like feeding her to make her compliant for all these. Anyways,
The best part, I will say, of watching the Game of Thrones episode 1 is when Tyrion is with the prostitutes, and then they just bring in all of them,
yeah.
and I'm like, okay, I know, I get this fucking show. Like,
Yeah.
I understand
There's
what
who
everyone
did-
talks
who
about.
did that bit? It might have been SNL that did a bit about George R. R. Martin's like his style of adapting it or whatever, and it's like I don't remember if it was. I think they had somebody playing him, but then they also had a 12-year-old boy on set for shooting the whole season to like give them all the like find excuses to put more naked women on the show or whatever.
Well, that's a South Park thing too.
Okay, yeah.
Where they keep trying to, because they keep trying to get him to tell them the rest of the story,
Okay.
and then he goes, "As the penis glistened in the moonlight," and they're like, "Would you get past the dick?" And I'm like,
There's a real dick phobia on Thrones too. There's like one for every 12 racks that you see. There's one penis.
I think South Park even
And
had
it's
a.
often severed.
Yeah, that's the norm,
Mhm.
unfortunately, and not the exception of the rule.
Yeah.
I gotta watch more of this show.
Dick in a box will take on a whole new meaning for you eventually.
Oh no,
You'll see.
Yeah.
is this gonna be in Star Wars too?
Some dick sever. I mean, we've seen lightsabers sever every other body part.
Right,
so-
yeah. I feel like that's going to be a harder one to get to without severing other body parts. Like, if you just cut somebody off at the legs and you just swipe right through, then it could be just dangling there, just sort of collateral
Swipe
damage.
right. Swipe right.
Swipe right.
Let's see.
through.
That's how when Kylo Ren swipes right, he really swipes right.
Is this going back to my Tinder from that I've talked about in
I
other
was
episodes?
hoping we could steer away from it before I got there, but
Oh
here we are.
no!
I was not gonna name drop anybody
Uh.
here, just Kylo Ren. I tried to steer it that way, but
Yeah,
Oh
but yeah, I was trying to come up.
well,
well,
I was trying to come up with some kind of a pun, but I got nothing for cutting somebody in half and then dating them or something. I don't know.
cutting them in half and then dating them.
Yeah.
that's a fetish, right? That's a fetish.
Well,
I mean,
amputee porn.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are people that like there are people that like to have parts amputated like during intercourse.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, like, well, it was, I don't know, it was on Loveline once, so who knows if they were, like, legit.
The Adam Carolla love line?
I think so, yeah.
Hell fucking yeah.
So, yeah, there was somebody who was talking about how they had fucking pruning shears and a toe involved in that whole situation.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's fucking metal.
Also,
if it makes the people who are making this podcast recoil, you know they've gone too far.
How many fucking
Like
times
and
are you
subscribe.
planning on having sex in your life?
What?
I said, how many fucking times are you planning on having sex
Right,
in your life?
exactly.
If you're, like,
exactly.
Are
That's
just
the only
all
way
your
you can
fucking,
really get off.
all your fucking fingers are gonna be gone, all your
Yeah.
toes, like your fucking ears and shit. Like,
tongue, teeth,
yeah, it's just,
nails,
And then you get to star in
scrotum. Yeah.
at least if you get whipped, it'll heal.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah. Whips and chains and
Ball
phone cords, they
busting,
won't
like-
kill you.
Like,
No,
that'll...
they'll come close. Well, unless you're David Carradine, but
Ooh, yeah.
was that too edgy?
No, I like it.
So did Carradine though, so look
Yeah,
what I got
exactly. He died doing what he loved.
himself.
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Like
Well,
and
allegedly.
subscribe.
weren't you talking about us getting kicked off of YouTube earlier?
Yeah.
God, Stan Lee death and
You know what?
David
Some of
Carradine
the-
death in the same fucking episode.
You know,
It's
if you
getting
no,
dark.
excuse me, Stanley ass rape. Thank you.
Oh,
But secondly, if
I mean, we talked. Yeah, we were. Harlan Ellison, I think, was the other death we
Yeah.
talked about, but it wasn't macabre or
yeah.
morbid.
but if with all the Nazi shit YouTube lets on, we were probably safe.
Yeah.
We're like 90% safe.
We're probably pretty safe.
We're about as edgy as a Kevin Smith movie.
Well,
Yeah.
we
And
need
we're
people
also-
to actually listen to this
Yeah.
before it gets flagged.
That's true. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Good point.
If
yeah.
it gets flagged, we know it's either Rich Franklin, Greg Stoltz,
we just
Mike Morano.
Mike.
Yeah, it'll be Mike
OG
Morano.
Mike. Shout out to Mike, who I
Yeah.
actually know.
What up, Mike?
or maybe one of us. Maybe Ben's wife. I don't know if she listens to it too.
Margot does, yeah. she
Okay,
does.
yeah. See, she at least listens to your episodes, I'm sure.
She's like, you're not hanging out in that fucking comic book store anymore.
I don't want you there after dark. In fact, I don't want you out after dark in the world unless you are handcuffed to me.
Are you married to Chris Hardwick?
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
I had to take that shot.
Okay. God damn.
Well, it's been nice being on my fourth and final installment of comic book pop talk.
Yeah, I
It
hope
was
you
more
guys,
a shot at him. It wasn't a shot at
I
Marga.
know.
She's a delight.
She is.
I hope you guys enjoyed this last episode of Pop Talk.
We didn't even get to D&D though. Should we discuss D&D's?
Oh,
Wars?
oh, yeah, yeah.
The Thrones guys, yeah.
I thought you were talking about, like, I'm not doing a D&D episode.
No.
Well, bust out your dice, boys.
Not-
'cause-
Hey, Justin and Christina, if you guys want to do a D&D episode.
yeah, right. We can make an episode of that.
Yeah,
We'd have to pipe in Kyle somehow, though.
Yeah. Hi, Kyle. Hope things are going well.
Back in California.
Yeah.
Moving it up.
Right.
The hotel, California.
Going, back. Cali.
Okay, so the Game of Thrones guys.
I mean, do we
David
know
Benioff.
anything about it yet? Or
No, not at all. Except
Okay.
Emilia Clarke has said it's going to be the most adult Star Wars ever made.
Okay.
I believe she said
Which
one
I'm
point
okay with.
she didn't know shit about it, but she did say it will be like Star Wars on acid.
Ooh,
Which
So the Old Republic.
intriguing.
I mean, they have won enough goodwill on Game of Thrones for me to give this a shot. So
Yeah.
I absolutely will watch this.
I mean, they've won enough goodwill. However, I will put my asterisk there and say that like once they run out of source material, once they ran out of source material for Game of Thrones, there was definitely a lesser quality that was coming out of that show.
Sure, and they really thrive when they can do more with less. Like when they have
Sure.
like 300 pages of a book to turn rather than a whole 800-page novel. When they have like just 300 pages to turn
Yeah.
into an entire season.
Mm-hmm.
They thrive in that level of detail, of
Yeah.
like the small character moments, of stretching those out to inject more meaning into those.
Right.
So with this an entire Star Wars movie, where you're just telling one story in like 2 hours,
Yeah.
rather than over a 10-hour.
Yeah, that's also
season.
true. Yeah, the nature of serialized television versus one feature film or a couple of feature films.
Yeah.
That probably will benefit their storytelling.
I think so.
Yeah.
It also, like, if it's going to be episodic, then they won't have to do like a one and done deal.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the story can continue. We'll put a punctuation mark on like this character's journey.
Right.
We'll like kill them violently
Yeah.
because that's what we know how to do, and then move onward.
Yeah,
But-
violent deaths. Yeah, actually, that's well, and that may be all it is that those guys are just going to maim and dismember all kinds of characters we love.
I'm
But that's-
fine with that. Like,
that's-
how
yeah.
do you like BB-8? You want to see his head come off? Yeah, here you go.
And there's blood for some reason.
Why not?
But
And gets shoved in a Sarlacc pit.
that's why I hope it's Old Republic though. is because that's so far removed from anything
It
that
doesn't have
Disney
any
is doing.
consequences on anything.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah,
Like,
well, yeah, and that's what I was saying in defense of them doing Old Republic. Like, while it's probably very true that no one really gives a shit about the ancient history of the Jedi Order or whatever, that it still could be an interesting.
make us give a shit.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's doable.
Give us the opportunity to find something and latch onto it and actually care about it, and then kill it in front of us so that
Yeah.
we feel.
You
Like
know,
Ned
well,
Stark.
I
Oh shit! Sorry, Andy.
you know what? I already knew.
Okay,
The
but
fact
I
that-
mean, at this
the
point,
fact
okay,
that
good.
fucking Sean Bean isn't on any of the other fucking covers of the show, like I could
Right.
kind of figure it out.
alright.
My wife didn't know, and like we're watching the first episode, and we're like, don't get attached to old Ned. Just joking, because I figured she knew. And she's like,
yeah.
why not? I'm like,
Uh-oh.
anyways.
Well, you recover by that by saying, well, don't get attached to anybody because a bunch of these characters fucking die
Yeah.
or have horrible things happen to them. So,
Or both.
right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're
We
both then the one final thing.
As the small girl in that taco commercial asks once upon a time, why can't we have both?
Was that a double decker?
No, that was the hard shell soft shell
Yes.
taco. And then they're like celebrating
Isn't
with
that a
her.
double decker?
No, like hard shell and soft shell.
Uh-huh.
Like
Have you
why
heard of
can't?
the double decker on the Taco Bell menu?
No, I know, but they're not put together.
Like as separate tacos.
yeah, as
Oh.
separate too.
They're two separate tacos. So why can't we have both means have two tacos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of combining them into one?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I completely misunderstood the
yeah.
what that little girl was saying.
That's okay.
Yeah.
She's an adult now anyway.
She's
so-
probably dead now.
No, I hope not.
She took that money, she spent it on Adderall, and then she ended up standing in front of a train for some reason.
Annie Adderall.
Or
Yeah.
no, tweeting racist shit.
Yeah.
Isn't that what?
But she's...
Isn't that what Roseanne Barr
Oh,
said?
God.
She was like, "Oh yeah, I was on Adderall or something. That's why I tweeted all that racist shit." I'm like, and then Adderall tweeted back like, "Side effects do not include racism."
Oh, clap back by a
Nice.
pharmaceutical company. That's a low blow.
Yeah,
Watch-
I was gonna say, I don't know. The
Watch
high road
The
is now where
Connors
the,
on
where
ABC this
Big
fall.
Pharma lives.
That's gonna bomb.
No, I know.
What is it?
The
What?
Connors.
That's a thing?
They're doing a
They're-
spin-off of Roseanne where it's about the entire family without her.
Really though?
Just let it go.
Yeah, that wasn't the problem.
That was yeah.
Just let yeah.
It's over, guys. It's over.
It's
Yeah.
been a fun
She
ride.
ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the apartment complex, but with no Jerry Seinfeld. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Monk's
it's
Cafe.
every other apartment.
Yeah, it's
Just-
like nobody really cares.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you could do a show like that, but it'd be what was it Room 42 or whatever, that HBO little like miniseries they did, where it's like a bunch of different stories that take place in the same hotel room. It'd be like that, but in a bunch of different apartments in the same building as Jerry. I mean, that sounds like it could be kind of funny. But
And then they always almost run into him.
yeah,
And
right.
they can have Jimmy Fallon do the impression, right? What is going on here?
Well, no, it's just like every time it's just like the back of a Jerry Seinfeld body double's head, like closing the door to his apartment. Like he's just gone inside and closed the door or something.
Yeah,
Oh, they just put a towel over some random extra's head.
Yeah.
To go all Portia de Rossi, Arrested season 5.
Yeah.
no Kramer. They get Kramer.
Sure,
almost
yeah.
in
Yeah,
there.
what's Michael Richards doing these days,
And then you
right?
hear all
Nothing.
You hear all the racist shit.
He's not tweeting racist shit.
Oh, because he doesn't have a Twitter. Thank
He's
God.
He's past that.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
He doesn't know what a Twitter is.
his spiritual journey
that's
took
how-
him far past that.
And that's exactly how he
Um,
refers to a Twitter.
The what?
And that's exactly how he would
The
refer
Twitter?
to a Twitter.
A
yeah.
Twitter, yeah.
I don't have a Twitter.
I don't even know what a Twitter is.
I don't understand the social medium, and I won't respond to it.
So are we on board for the Game of Thrones guys doing Star Wars?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
we'll
am
get
too.
we'll get more excited when we know more. But
I was gonna watch their Confederate show. Or
Oh, yeah, I was
whatever
gonna watch the
show.
hell out of
Yeah.
that just to piss off the social
Is
justice
it
warriors.
still happening or no?
I don't know.
I
Okay.
mean, people are already protesting outside.
They were the minute it was announced.
No, I mean here
That's
because you
what the
said
Bing
you were gonna
Bong
watch.
was.
Yeah.
How could you dare support a show from creators that you like that you know nothing about? Or that we know nothing about?
Modern day slavery? That's totally not an actual thing.
But that's capitalism, guys.
Just because they
Come
don't
on.
actually chain you to the desk doesn't
That's-
mean that you're not somewhat enslaved.
It's called working at Target. Boom.
Hello.
Fuck Target. I love shopping there, but I would never work there
I guess
again.
they're not going to sponsor us now.
Well, shit.
Thanks a lot.
That's okay. There's still Kmart.
Is there?
That's okay. There's Toys R Us.
I was gonna say,
oh,
You know, Toys R Us.
now that Jeffrey the Giraffe is not trademarked,
Now that
copyrighted anymore,
Now that
can we,
Jeffrey Giraffe has been sold to a porn.
Oh,
Jesus God.
Jeffrey Dahmer the giraffe.
They do have exceptionally long tongues, right?
Exceptionally long necks.
Yeah, well, actually, Toys R Us was sponsoring us for a minute there, and that was their last business venture. That's actually what we bankrupted them.
Oh yeah.
So,
Does that mean you guys are going to be sold off to some other corporate?
Oh no, they don't
interest?
own us. They were just sponsoring us.
Oh, sponsor.
So, yeah, we
Of course.
got a check for 65 cents, and yeah.
That was the last 65 cents they had.
I mean 35 cents. It was 35 cents. You can have 15.
All right.
That means you get 20.
I mean, theoretically, yeah.
That's like one donut hole at the Donut Man.
I mean, I'm actually getting the other 30 cents that I mentioned earlier, but I didn't want Andy to know.
Of course.
So I feel like he
Well.
deserves some more from that.
He's an auteur, not a mathematician. He's never going to figure it out.
He's not a pretentious film student, not an embezzler.
Yeah. Was that an arrested?
Oh yeah. That
Okay.
was
Just making
He's
sure.
an arsonist, not an embezzler.
Yeah.
What else is coming out? I think the Lando spinoff. We're nearing the end.
Is
But
that-
I don't think that
Is
Lando's...
there going to be a Lando spinoff? I've
Not
just been
anymore.
I was just
Yeah.
guessing that because Donald Glover was the only thing I was really excited about for the Solo movie.
I think the only thing...
he has his own appeal.
Nothing out of that movie is going to get a spin-off.
Okay.
I mean, unless
if
we get Kira a Star Wars story, which I'd be fine with, because Kira... I really want Kira to be Rey's mom. Like, I want that to be canon. It's not going to happen now. But it would have been great before. Makes total sense. Like, considering where that film ended, it makes sense.
But I don't think we're getting a Lando movie. As much as I wouldn't mind seeing Donald Glover again as
It'd
Lando.
be great if they let him direct it.
Yeah, this is Lando Landia?
Lando Lanta?
No, because, like, this is America.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah.
This is a galaxy
This
far,
is-
far away.
Bespina?
Bespin-
This is Cloud Citia?
So instead of the gun, it's like a blaster. It's like.
Or even just a lightsaber. Just ignite that once and blow out someone's head.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Childish Landino?
Childish Lambino.
Everybody.
Landino?
Hot
Landino?
take,
Yeah.
or maybe just unpopular opinion. Wasn't my favorite part about that movie. I
Oh, really?
wasn't.
No, not mine either.
Okay.
He was
Wasn't crazy about it.
underutilized.
He was underutilized, but I just didn't feel it.
I liked Alden Ehrenreich's Han better actually.
Yeah,
He was my
I-
favorite part.
I think my favorite part. Well, he was great. I liked Woody Harrelson a lot.
Mhm.
As Beckett. He
I like
was-
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany was great.
Yeah, Paul Bettany is
Just is a
great.
scary fucker. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're not getting anything from that. We'll just combine the two last ones that we need to talk about. Solo 2, which is not happening.
No.
And Lando. Because that was the thing. They
They
said
were
they
going to do Solo 2 in Orlando?
Yeah, because Alden Ehrenreich said, he's like, oh yeah, I signed on for 2 sequels.
There were
Okay.
rumors years ago, that Disney was planning a Han Solo trilogy.
Oh, okay.
And everyone's like, no, this is a bad idea. Don't invest in this. It will not make you money.
Okay.
Lo and behold. I think it's supposed to come out the same day that Green Lantern 2 gets released.
Green Lantern 2, Emerald Dawn.
Emerald Dawn, yeah. Oh, lordy. With Kyle Rayner, played
Fantastic
by
Four
like,
2.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anybody better than that. That's perfect.
Right? That's why I picked him. He's like,
And we already know what he looks like, all shiny and glistening.
yeah. Exactly. Just make that greenish tint. Boom,
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Ding.
Fantastic Beasts 2. Oh, speaking of things that need to not happen.
Oof.
No, I said Fantastic Four 2.
Oh.
Because we're listing things that are never going to happen.
Fantastic 42.
Rise
Wait,
of the
wasn't-
Silver Surfer.
Wasn't that the Jackie Robinson movie? Fantastic 40.
It was just
Hey.
42. I
Yeah,
think.
no, I know, but this
This
is
is the one
sequel.
where
Chadwick Boseman has broken the color line twice. First in baseball, second in superheroes. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's the Jackie Robinson story, but he ends up with cosmic fire powers.
Or stretch powers, or invisible powers, or rock powers.
Well, I was just going with because Johnny Storm was black in that Fantastic Four movie. So
Oh,
it's a sequel
okay.
to that.
Well,
and,
now we really are going to get protests, and thanks, I appreciate it.
And that made him super jaded, and he became a mass murderer named Eric Killmonger.
I mean, with a name like Killmonger, what are you really going to do for a career?
But like at least
It's like
in,
being named Sinbad.
in yeah, you take two evil things, put them right next to each other.
You got two options.
Yeah.
Comic or pirate.
Or both, yeah. Is the comic still alive?
Comedian pirate? Probably.
Didn't he play Black Lightning on like an episode when they did an SNL bit like right after the deaths of Superman where they did like
really?
they had like a funeral for Superman and like
That's
all the
awesome.
obscure DC characters are coming. He's like, I'm Black Lightning. You're like,
Nice.
who? I'm Black Lightning. Yeah.
So many people in the audience were just like, is this real or did they
Yeah.
make it up?
And now the CW is like, we can make a show on that.
Mm-hmm. They did. It wasn't worse than the others.
Have you seen the
Bringing endorsements.
I mean, I guess it's just my way of saying if you like the other CW shows, you won't
Right.
not like Black Lightning.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine by comparison.
Yeah, it's not gonna make people go out and riot.
Have you seen the Titan stuff that they put out?
Only the Robin. I'm waiting to see what they do with Starfire and or Raven before I commit. Who else is? I know they've got Hawk and Dove.
Mhm.
Those have looked reasonably.
Beast Boy.
Beast Boy. Okay. That's you're gonna break the CGI budget on Beast Boy.
Well, if they have Cyborg in it too. Well, and even Starfire probably, because they're probably gonna have to like do
Bronze.
over her some.
Yeah.
Yeah, like add some visual effects to her as well. And
The eyes.
not just makeup and actual orange spray tan.
I think Cyborg was off limits for them just because he was supposed to be in the DC universe.
Because he's Justice League now. So
Which, I mean,
that's too bad.
There's no Justice League now anyway, so it doesn't really.
Right? Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
That's too bad.
The
I like Cyborg.
I used to like Cyborg, then New 52 and everything
Yeah.
since then just made him boring as fuck.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, he was like a smart mouth, like streetwise kid back in the 80s. I
Mhm.
loved him, but
Yeah. And he's got like jetpacks and.
now he's just Iron Man but boring.
Yeah, exactly. That's essentially what they were aiming for, I think, with New 52. They're like, we need someone who's machine-y.
Yeah.
What do we have?
Hmm.
We have a bunch of metal men. We can't really use
And
them
he's
right
black. He checks off both boxes.
now. Right, exactly, yeah. All right, so pull John Jones out of here.
No.
Put him on Stormwatch, where
Fuck.
no one will bother
Fuck.
him.
I hate that. I hated. Oh, New 52 just keeps on
So
giving.
many things wrong with that. It's
Yeah.
Hey, when you were in like 8th grade, it was pretty awesome.
a lot of things were pretty awesome when we were in 8th grade.
Yeah, it's true.
I was Attack of the Clones came out when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, see?
So case in point. But
Green
also,
Lantern came out when I was in 8th grade.
ooh. Okay, you win.
The Amazing Spider-Man came out when I was in 8th grade. No. I was going into 8th grade with Green Lantern. I was exiting 8th grade with Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
Summer before and summer after. In with the
Lantern,
Lantern, out with the
out.
Amazing.
out with the Spidey, out with the
Amazing
Garfield.
was fine.
Amazing did not live up to the title.
New, yeah,
Yeah,
wasn't amazing, but it was a good Spider-Man movie. I mean, or good enough.
It's
Spider-Man
fine.
Movie. Yeah, exactly. It was not as disappointing as its sequel.
Yeah, or even Spider-Man 3 with Raimi.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Spider-Man 3 better than Amazing Spider-Man. Only because it's got that Raimi touch that I know and love, and I'm like, yeah, there's some love put into
Raimi
this.
touched
You know the Raimi touch,
Yeah.
and you love it.
Unfortunately.
Oh!
Oh boy.
Oh, that better be web fluid, I feel like.
Oh god.
Organic web fluid.
Oh, zing.
Oh, and on that note.
Oh. Lordy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be asked back a 5th time. So
Oh,
it's
yeah,
been-
you are.
It's been great being here, and
Oh, yeah, you're going to be back when we do our roundtable discussion.
Yes.
At some
Oh,
point.
don't spoil it.
Oh, shit. No, God.
We're gonna talk
Oh.
about how we love Roundtable.
that's like
I like
when-
the King Arthur Supreme, but I may be alone in that. So many vegetables on it.
Woo!
Please sponsor us, Roundtable.
Well,
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah, well, hell. We good?
I think so. I mean, Star Wars is not as dead as people would like to believe, but
But it's getting there.
but hopefully it'll learn some lessons from
Yeah,
Solo
right, yeah.
and from Last
There's
Jedi.
a lot more to look forward to, and yeah, they can continue if they want to. They can take notes on all this
Mhm.
shit that has not worked for them, and hopefully, yeah, listen to our podcast and just take all of the brilliant advice we have for them
I
and
will
apply it.
I'll tweet the link to this at the Disney Twitter account, so
Oh, God.
you know they will listen
Well,
to it.
yeah, you know we're gonna get flagged if you do that.
And Bob Iger, if you're listening and really want to replace Kathleen Kennedy, Andy is available.
Yeah, I'm very pretentious.
He is-
I am a very pretentious film student.
He is gonna be a director on the rise real soon. So
Yeah, you know it. I have an iPhone. I can film something.
You're
he has an
already
iPhone and he's
cinema
seen a
gear.
television show or two, so
Yeah,
he knows how to tell a story.
I'll get all the great pretentious directors. Have you seen this?
Or
So
maybe-
Yui Bowl will be on there.
Dude, Yui Bull just followed me on Twitter.
Oh,
the
yeah.
real Yui Bull.
well,
No,
it
it
though?
is. Yeah,
You
it's
sure?
his actual.
the verified one.
Well, he's not verified, but that's his account.
Okay.
Yeah, Yui Bull followed me on Twitter. So hi, Yui. I know you listen to everything I do.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Marvel bullshit dirt.
Does he have brothers named Dewey and Louie?
That's literally what he called it. He
What?
called it Marvel bullshit dirt.
The Marvel movies?
After his Kickstarter for Rampage 3 didn't get enough money. He's like, I guess nobody wants Rampage 3, so I'm not going to do it. Fine, I have enough money to play golf till I'm dead. And he's like, fuck yourselves. What? And he's like, goes on like this huge, where he like uses the word retard like 5 times.
Oh,
He's like, what
That's
absolutely,
unsightly.
yeah,
Oh, that's unfortunate.
yeah, and he's like, Marvel
Rampage
bullshit
3,
dirt.
but they haven't even made a Rampage 2 with Dwayne
Dwayne
Johnson.
He
and then
sued
the
them
gorilla.
for that.
sued
Yeah, he
them.
did.
Yeah.
He did.
He must have missed the reference.
How did Yui Bowl even have money?
Because these films are all fucking scams.
They're all Ponzi schemes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Madoff and Bowl are gonna be in in prison next year. Richard Dreyfuss can play Yui Bowl.
Yes.
Didn't Madoff die?
No, he's still alive.
Is he? Well,
I'm
he's
fairly certain.
probably just getting ass raped in prison.
Oh, okay. Okay, going back.
Unlike Stan Lee, he
It's
deserves it.
It's a kind of death.
Oh, and that ties this whole episode together in a nice little
Balloon
bow.
knot.
Yeah, it goes full 360 from ass rape to ass rape.
360.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh, that is a reference.
Nice.
That is
That's
a
a
reference. That you will only get from me in person.
Yeah, there you go.
Come into the store and ask Andy about it.
That's bonus content right there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's DLC.
Yeah, you can meet. Yeah, I'll sign your comic for you.
Yeah, he'll sign your iPhone.
He'll defile
Yeah.
your comics for you.
Oh, that costs extra.
No, I mean like he'll sign with the Stanley blood pens.
Oh, okay. I
thought
was
you
gonna
meant
say
like-
that's gonna take about 5 minutes and a trip to the
Yeah,
back
I
of it.
thought you meant with his genitals.
If it's an issue of like Wonder Woman or Power Girl or something, maybe like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, maybe less. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a smaller timeline for that.
or the issue of Lando Double or Nothing where they show him canonically fuck the robot.
God damn it.
And on that note, are we good?
I think we've pretty much exhausted these theoretical projects. Let's do a follow up in a few years and see how many of these actually get made.
Oh yeah.
We'll do a retrospective on this episode.
Oh, yeah.
We can, that actually sounds pretty good. I also love the phrase "canonically fuck the robot." That's maybe my new favorite thing.
That sounds like the name of a
Woo!
film studio.
Yeah, like Bad Robot.
Yeah,
It's
canonically fuck Bad
Canonically
Robot.
fuck the robot.
Don't steal our idea, JJ.
He's like, guys, it's all yours.
Oh, that's the plot for episode 9.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah, retrospective on the books. We'll go ahead and put that in the when I get my 2019 calendar, I'll put that in straight away.
Cool. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Mr. Ben Jenkins, for being here.
Mrs.
Dr.
Miss
Mrs. Featherbottom, yeah.
Finger bottom.
Finger.
We're looking forward to your
We shan't be telling your mother about this, shan't we?
we're looking forward to your 5th episode.
Episode 5 is really the best.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Fans generally regard it as their favorite.
Historically, yeah.
So tune in next time for that. Or
Whenever.
surprise. Yeah, whenever.
he's
Yeah.
back.
We'll see you in 3 months, everybody.
Until